Turn on my recording.
It's
So
cold.
we're live.
It's warm where I am. It's like 28 Celsius.
It's 11 Celsius.
It's 25 Celsius here.
Oh yeah, but Annette
I
was
appreciate
bragging
that
about
we were
that
talking
earlier.
Celsius.
I wish I knew what any of that
Oh,
meant.
now I can hear,
It's
but I
like
can't hear you all.
It's-
Oh no,
It's warm in
99?
Edmonton and Boston, and it's
there
cool
we go.
in Auckland.
Big numbers mean warmer, Micah.
Okay, thank you, Tonisha.
Just think if it was 100 Celsius, the water would be boiling. So just think of it as a
It's
percentage.
less than that.
14.4 degrees Celsius here in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Okay, it's 50 degrees here, Micah.
Oh, I forgot.
okay.
Like, you're in Portland now. You're not that far from me.
Yeah, I know.
Right
When
now.
you said Seattle, I was like, oh, it's just up the road.
It's funny that you said, do you have any like pre-TPK business? Because I'm currently binging Dog and Pony.
Oh.
And there was often a lot of business that happened.
So much
in
Tuesday night.
Especially if you're listening to the bootleg files of that, where it's
Yes.
like there's
The
sometimes
bootlegs.
like a solid 35 minutes of preamble before we start playing Dungeons and
Should we
Dragons.
start playing? Should we
At
start playing?
least.
And then it keeps
Yeah.
going. And they're like, should we start playing?
My favorite was when it got taken over.
What happened?
When Aline took over.
Oh,
yeah, because
yes.
everybody was farting around too much, and she was like, "All right, we're starting."
Was it? Didn't Tony have like an outage too?
Those were recorded back in the days when I had not good internet. Too.
yeah.
So
Well, and
that was
Zoom was
an
just
extended
like-
era where I had,
Yeah,
was
I
using,
mean that goes back a long. I
building
remember
supplied
editing
Wi-Fi.
TPK where I had to edit around the disappearance of Tony. Good times, good times.
don't
That's a Netflix special for sure. The disappearance of
I
Tony.
feel like it's like you guys have great. I need to get myself a better microphone stand, like little tripod thing, because I currently you all got like the nice stands, and mine is a crappy
I have
one
the
that I got
arm,
for
which I
free.
like mainly because when I'm not
Brian
working.
has the worst stand right now.
Yeah, Brian literally has to hold it.
Holding.
Mine's on 2 books. That's just to bring it
classic.
up.
I used to
That's
rock the
classic.
two
I used to
books,
put
yeah.
my microphone on my stomach. I would
was
lay
gonna say,
down.
I
and
remember,
record.
I
there was
remember those days.
There
In
was
bed,
an era
yeah.
where I had a better podcast setup than Jason,
Yeah.
and Jason's like, I just balance on my stomach. I don't see why it needs to be better than that. And I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, because I recorded it. I recorded on the bed.
Yeah.
So
lying
I
down.
had like the laptop. It was like in order, like
Holy
laptop.
cow.
And you were
on my
like,
legs,
"It's fine. I'm a
microphone on my
semi-professional
chest. It was yeah, sure.
And I was like, I think you could do better than that, senior tech analyst. You were like, no, this is it.
Nope.
This is the pinnacle.
This is all the podcasting deserves, quite frankly.
Yeah. Wow. You were so young.
It was a
That
long
makes me
time
feel
ago now.
better because
We're
when I first
all-
moved to California, I
We're
did
all on
that a
different
couple of
path,
times
You know?
from bed, not on my stomach, but I was just like, I just really just don't want to.
I'm just gonna. I was at a webinar. So great start to every
At
story.
a webinar.
I attended
Wow.
a webinar on Thursday that I was prepared to be annoyed about because it was by an author who had like an inflammatory book title, and the book title was like "More Colleges Need to Fail." Basically, you can that's close enough to the thing that somebody who wanted to could look it up. And then it was written by an 85-year-old economics professor who thinks that way more colleges need to fail, who did not know how to use Zoom in this year of our Lord 2025. And I just think it's always great when people who do not know the most basic technology have very strong feelings about
Yeah.
how our society should
It
run.
was called.
know.
The book's called "Let Colleges Fail."
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Slightly less inflammatory
Richard
than
Fetter.
mine. But it was like he had no idea how to do stuff. He didn't know how to get his camera on. And it's like, yeah, I want to take advice from you.
Let webinars fail, Tony. Let webinars
And you
fail.
know, not everybody needs to know all that stuff, but you need to know that you don't know all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then have
Yeah.
somebody to help you. And not. And this was like a thing with
And make
100
sure that it
people.
doesn't factor into your beliefs and thoughts about a thing as well.
Yeah, and you know,
Spoken
this
like
was a
somebody
thing
who deals with
100 people.
professors every day.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I know a bunch of the people that Tony is referring
Yeah.
to. Not personally, but I know them still.
No,
Tell
our
them
friends
I
back
said
at academia
hello.
know those people. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Oh,
Anyway.
we should do a show.
do I have to
do a
get
show
do I have to
about
get a
Dungeons
lean
and
in
Dragons.
here?
It's 4:06. If this was the Dog and Pony show, not everybody would have showed up yet.
True.
I would be texting certain people right now, being
4:10.
like, "It's Tuesday. What's going on?"
Yeah.
How do I make you guys small at the bottom?
In Roll20.
In Roll20.
Yeah.
Click on the gear.
Mm-hmm.
Top right corner.
Scroll down to audio video.
Okay.
Click video display. It is so many clicks away.
I
It
know.
is. They
And
keep
then you
burying it
want
deeper.
player video avatar size. I recommend names only.
Names only.
You asked for
Me
small,
too.
but maybe you wanted non-existent.
And that's
what I
not
got.
an option.
Absolutely.
And never has been.
The
Yeah.
Mez only.
Yeah. All right. Everyone is recording. Jason is streaming.
Yeah,
YouTube
baby.
is doing. Jason, you are doing a bootleg for us?
Yep.
Question mark.
All
You're
of
always
this is on the
bootlegging everything?
bootleg from when I went live. It's all on the bootleg,
Excellent.
folks.
There's me talking crap about a
Academia.
economics professor. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, in 10 years, when
Yeah.
all of this gets indexed by Google and is searchable, that guy
okay.
will be dead and won't.
Oh God, I'm going up for promotion
All
this
right,
year.
hold on. I just want to say he started off his thing once he got Zoom working by bragging about how he had been drinking with Putin and Margaret Thatcher, and I was like, I don't think these brags
no.
land the way
Oh,
you
no,
think
it's
they
not gonna
do,
land for you.
my bro. Anyway,
Have you had a pot pie with Pol Pot? I don't think so.
Anyway, it's just like, geez, dude, Margaret Thatcher. Anyway. Anyway.
Have you had eggs with Noriega? I don't think so.
At least these are puns and not just
That's true. That's fair.
greatest generation
That's fair.
brags. I don't know. Welcome back
Boomer.
to
Okay,
Total
Boomer.
Party Kill.
Recording.
It's me, Tony Sindelar, Dungeon Master, use he, him pronouns. Today we are continuing one of our Candlekeep Mysteries adventures, specifically the Canopic Being. We are deep into things. We are in the middle of a battle because our adventurers have traveled into an extraplanar dungeon / meditation retreat. They are trying to find out what's going on with a powerful oracle who has possibly stolen some people's organs. A book was involved, a librarian is missing, all the things you love in a Candlekeep mystery. Our players are currently in combat, so I'm going to introduce them in initiative order, and then we'll jump back into combat. First up, it's Erica Ensign.
Hello, Erica Ensign, she, her. I don't know how my character, Reed Quarrel Kilgariff, also she, her, ended up being first. But hey, I guess that's what's happening. Also, shout out, thank you to Past Me for leaving myself a note in the chat so that I know what to do on my turn.
Saw that.
Next up, it's Brian Guffey. Welcome back, Brian.
Thank you. I am Brian Guffey. I am playing Melius Starsinger, a gender-fluid Eladrin bard. We are both they, them, and I have a giant sword hanging out there currently.
Nice. Let's see. Next up is some Canopic golems that you're fighting. Let's get past
Let's
them.
introduce them now.
No.
So let's hear their backstory a little bit, just a little bit.
They have
What's their
backstories.
motivation?
They haven't always been Canopic golems. It's a whole thing, but you're gonna explore that one way or another later in the adventure. But also joining us, it's Sarah Bickerton. Welcome back, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and my character is Vroga Tridesbane. She's a half-orc barbarian. We're both she, her, and she currently is wielding a berserker great axe. So, ready to cleave.
Excellent. Also joining us, it's Micah Sargent.
Not gonna lie, I did hear bazooka
I
great
also heard
axe
that.
at first, and that sounded
We're already
really
there with the
cool.
accent.
I
That's
am
great.
not gonna make fun of people's accents.
No,
but they
that's not a make fun. That is
hilarious.
just like a really cool thing.
So, shall we get into making fun of Americans then?
Yes, you may.
every day, please.
I thought Tony granted you some special thing. Anyway, I am Micah Sargent, as has been said, he, him, and I am playing Lone Walker, also known as Ashguri Lone Walker, Mako Tatsahani, he, him as well, who is a Poliath Galadin. That is what he is. Canon!
Ha, funny accent. Ha.
Instant karma, instant karma.
It's okay to make fun of how other
Kedama.
people talk as long as you talk perfect all times.
You
As
talk
I
perfect
do.
all time. Yes.
I'm not changing it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do it again, but
No.
apparently not. Canon. And last but not least, it's Jason Snow.
Hello, I am playing Nis. She is a sorcerer who is also a lizard folk, an unusual, I think, kind of a character. She's a big lizard lady who has magic and recently magic missiled a bunch of jars because who needs stupid jars anyway?
Thank you for mentioning that, because I was about to do it. You're in this huge tomb-like structure. There's a giant pit in the middle of this room with a sarcophagus way down at the bottom. The sarcophagus, it radiates spooky on all levels. It's huge. It's made out of like black stone. It's got an eye carved in the lid. And up on the top of this room, you have been fighting these huge crystal golems. They look kind of like vaguely humanoid, but they're 12 feet tall. And they're made of kind of shiny rock. And honestly, it hasn't been going great for you. These golems appear to be immune to a lot of magical properties, and they've just been wailing on you. When possibly the turning point in the fight, Nis steps up to the edge of this giant pit, saw these little jars, shall we call them canopic jars, in little sconces around the chamber, and fired a magic missile into each and every jar. I believe that I described each jar had a distinct image carved upon it. And as Nis did that, the golems kind of shuddered and seemed to temporarily freeze in place. Reed Quarrel, you are next. You are at the top of the order. You are right up next to the leftmost golem, kind of all by yourself. And I will tell you, this golem is stunned. What does stunned mean in Dungeons & Dragons? Well, it means a couple things, but the most exciting one is you have advantage against attack rolls against creatures that are stunned. Creatures that are stunned automatically fail strength and dexterity, and they can't do much on their turns.
Nice. Okay,
Would we know if their spell immunity is also reduced?
I think you could assume that basically their movement is kind of reduced, but not their spell immunity.
Okay.
Because I think the spell immunity is kind of a inherent property of their construction.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, and I will say I've been, I've been generous with information. This is a very challenging encounter. We've also got some people who are somewhat new to D&D, so please don't write me emails about the difference between how I'm running the session, this particular encounter, and the thing as written in the book. That's not how we do things at Soul Party Kill. Erica, Reed Quarrel, facing off against a big crystal golem.
Well, I just realized that I didn't even remember to tell everybody that Reed Quarrel Kilgareth is a human cleric of the comforting god of death, Kelimvor. So that's a thing that you might want to know. Also, I'm really glad that I have advantage because last week my blue sparkly D20 didn't work great. So I was thinking maybe I should switch over to the green sparkly one that's like kind of more blackish. But now I don't have to choose. I get to roll them both. I'm going to use my great big scythe of wounding and just take a big swing at it. And I crit.
That's the way to start an adventure. Or a session, at least.
Super exciting and great. So instead of 1d10 plus 2, I will be rolling 2d10 plus 2. Again, I don't have to choose which sparkly die to use. This is fantastic. So, I rolled 7s on both of them. So that's 14, 15. So 16 points of magical slashing damage. Plus, I am going to use one of my Channel Divinity features. It's called Touch of Death.
Let's do it.
When you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can spend a Channel Divinity use to deal an extra 31 points of necrotic damage.
Good Lord!
No dice involved. 31 points.
31 points. It just happens. That's nice.
Yes, it does.
Nice for
it's
nice for
not nice for
Erica's.
it.
Yeah. All right, you have delivered a lot of damage. I will tell you that left one had only been hit a little bit before, so you're chipping away at it, but it is not yet what we call bloodied.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to take it out with that or anything, but yeah.
All right.
Is anybody that I can see really damaged? Like, is anybody hurt super bad? I mean, I'm hurt some, but not like a ton.
I'm okay.
Nobody's hollering.
All right.
All right. Then I think I'm gonna use a healing word on myself as a bonus action, and I will just do that, and we can move along to the next person.
All right. Brian, you are up next. So Melius is also on kind of the left side of the chamber. You're probably like 40 feet behind Reed Quarrel, who's engaged in combat with that the leftmost golem. What would you like to do?
Well, and remember, and this is, we might want to put some sort of token there. There
You
is
need
a
floating magic
giant
sword?
yeah, right over that thing. And just to confirm, if I'm going to use that floating sword again, do I just like I see over here where I see my actions? There's a +7 when I what does that mean next to like it says Mordecai sword and then it says +7 and you can roll with a +7.
I think you'd roll a d20 plus 7, probably.
So I just so cool. So I can hit it right there and it'll do that. Awesome.
Yeah, if you
believe so.
click that, it should automatically do the math. Yeah.
Well, that's really disappointing because that was a 9.
So yeah, and if you roll over the number at any time, you can see what the score. So you rolled a 2 with the d20 plus 7.
I will tell you, attacks against the thing have advantage because it is.
Oh yeah, you get to roll
That's
again.
right.
You get to roll again. So
Let's try again.
Let's go higher.
I'm working on making you a token for a floating magic sword.
14.
14's not.
14 is not quite going to do it, though. You hit it, but it just clacks off of it because these things are made of shiny rock.
Now, and I'm assuming because this is, I know it's a sword, but it is technically a magic sword. I can't say that it's two-weapon fighting, right?
I don't think so.
All right.
Now, does that take your whole action? I don't know how your floating magic sword works.
Let's take a look here. Okay. On your later turns. No, that's just, I forgot the sword is simply a bonus action.
Okay. So you
My
still have
goodness.
an action if you want to cast a spell or do another attack.
Yes, why don't we see what we have
No,
here.
it doesn't even use your bonus action. You need to use your bonus action if you want to move it. It is its own entity at this point. It is an extra fighter that you have summoned to help us out. So you get to do your own stuff on your turn.
That is
Oh.
a lot of magic in one sword.
My goodness.
You do have to concentrate. If something hits you, your concentration might break and it might
Right, so
disappear.
I can't
but
do
for
another.
now,
Right, and I can't use another spell that uses concentration.
Correct.
But you could use another
Okay.
spell as long as you don't have to concentrate on it.
Yeah, why do I have so many concentration spells?
I know it's because they're good.
I mean, those
a
are
lot
the
of
ones.
them.
That's just because Dungeons and Dragons is an escapist thing where we're all capable of concentrating on something for an extended period of time.
1 minute.
All right.
It's only
Well,
60
I
seconds.
think we might have a good
Hey,
time
Erica.
here.
Touche.
As I'm backing up Reed Quarrel and Reed Quarrel's up there, it would be nice if this, I don't know if it probably to charm, possibly.
I don't think charm would work on
Charms aren't going to
Yeah,
work on a
that's what I'm
golem.
say. Yeah. Okay, then let's just hurt it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry,
we're
did I
gonna
say
go
that
ahead.
out loud?
Philosophy.
I actually, the thing we're going to do is we're going to. Okay, so we're about. You said about what, 60 feet away?
I think you're closer than that. I think you're 45 feet away.
Okay, then we're going to use my light crossbow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Pepper it.
All right, there's a 17 to hit.
17 hits. Dungeons and Dragons nerds will tell you you have advantage and you should roll twice just to see if you get a crit on the second roll.
I was
They
going
would
to
say
you
that.
hit.
I'm that kind of nerd.
Sorry.
It wasn't on a crit.
Erica's
Oh,
will say
not a crit.
math 20, not critical hit 20. All right, so a crossbow bolt whizzes past Reed Quarrel's ear, and it looks like does 6 piercing damage.
That's correct.
All right.
But non-magical,
Nice earlobe
correct?
piercing.
Or is it?
No, it's a non-magical damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's a two-weapon. It is two-weapon. I do have two-weapon fighting, but does that have to be with 2 melee weapons?
I think that would be
Correct.
with 2 melee weapons. That would be like a
Okay,
sword
cool.
and a dagger. All right. Anything else, Melius? You good?
I'm good.
All right, Sarah Vroga is up next. You and Lone Walker and it's a Pegasus on the map, but I recall it possibly being a magic elk, are locked in combat with the rightmost Canopic golem. Also, somebody, me in the past, put a spooky eye symbol on this golem. What did that mean? What did that mean, Tony?
It
Why did
wasn't
I
from
do
me.
that?
There
someone-
was some sort of thing that happened. Wait, that doesn't help, Micah.
Thanks, Micah Sargent. You think somebody
I'm
did some
just-
kind of action, maybe?
I am just firing on all cylinders today,
Yeah.
Tony Sindelar.
No, this is great. We're good at Dungeons and Dragons. I'm going to remove that symbol. It's fine. And assume that probably there was a temporary effect on it that has passed. So, Veroga, you are in melee combat with big Canopic Golem.
Yeah, I'm
opponent.
also in rage at the moment. So, which gives me blah, 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 blah. You gain advantage on strength checks and saving throws, not attacks, +3 melee damage with strength weapons and resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage.
All right.
You can't cast or concentrate on spells. Well, right, that's good because I can't cast spells.
It's like, do you do a lot of that when you're not raging? You're a lot of focused concentration on spells.
Okay, so I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go boringly for the Berserker Great Axe and
All right.
slash away. So let's
Have
see what
advantage, so roll twice.
roll twice. Okay,
take the higher.
We have got one. Oh, that's not good at all. Okay, we're going to give the other one a shot. And 23.
23 will hit.
Okay, let's see what we do. Damage. 15.
15 damage. I will tell you, you have bloodied this Canopic Golem, which means half of its hit points have been depleted. I forget how barbarians work, especially at level 13. You probably have more attacks you get to do.
I
One more
don't
attack.
know. One
At
more
least
attack?
one more.
Okay, shall I just go? I'm just going to do the same thing then.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Seems to be working. And okay, do I get 2 rolls on the?
You do.
On the, yeah. Okay.
Because
cool.
it's done. Oh, because of its...
Oh, that was a 1.
Well, I wouldn't use that one.
We're not going to use that one.
Yeah, use the other one.
Yeah, then I'll go with the second one, which was a 15, 24.
That'll hit. Okay, now you're playing
Okay,
Dungeons and
and
Dragons.
now
sir.
I'm like, let's see what we do. And that was a 9.
All right. Well, it's something. Sarah, is that it for you? You think?
I think that's about it for me. Yeah,
All right.
I just like had at it, slashed one way, slashed another way. Got a little bit of. Do they have blood? I don't know.
I
It's
think
a
there's
golem.
just, like,
Is it a little
yeah.
bit of clay dropped to the floor?
Yeah,
or something
there's
like that?
shards of rock and crystal kind of raining off of it. This is
Yeah.
a little bit more like a demolition project than a combat situation. All right, Lone Walker, you're next. You're right there with Vroga,
Yeah.
fighting a damaged golem.
So I am going to just strike out with my Warhammer, and let's see what we can do. And I want to choose to roll with advantage, so that way we don't have to even do it ahead of time. I think we do it this way. There we go. Okay. All right, 27.
27
I know that'll
hit smash right in the face with your Warhammer.
That will be 8 damage, plus. I always forget what the
Do
extra.
you have a channel divinity or something?
I've got. Oh, never mind, because I'm not doing divine. I'm not going to do divine smite. So we'll just do it one more time. Another Warhammer. A 24.
Yeah.
And that's 16
Ooh,
damage
16.
that time.
That's nice. All right.
Yes.
That one on the right is starting to look a little like it's stumbling around a little bit. Does
And then-
your is it Unicorn Pegasus?
Pegasus. So-
your equine friend.
For the listeners out there, when Lone Walker leveled up, so did Lunareth. So it's the same soul as what Lunareth was before, a celestial elk. Now Lunareth presents as a celestial Pegasus. So that's why there's now what appears to be a horse with wings on the map. Thank you for honoring the celestial nature.
I have
of that
named the
Pegasus.
token and made it kind of glowy to attempt to,
and Lunareth is going to just do a cheeky little hooves attack.
With advantage.
Ooh,
Oh,
ba-
that's
ba-
good
ba- da-
because
ba.
your first one was not going to hit.
So that is going to be instead of 1d6 plus 4, that's going to be 2d6 plus 4.
Go horsies.
Exactly. Thank you for getting that. Now, here's the question, because this is a celestial, so it
No,
does
Micah,
get.
the answer is no.
Thank
It's
you.
not magical. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that wasn't my question.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So that's okay. The attack says it's 1d6 plus 4 bludgeoning damage plus 2d4 radiant damage. Do I get to double also that radiant damage?
You double the dice.
All
All right. So it's
If it's a
That's
dice,
awesome.
you double it.
I didn't realize that that it actually did radiant damage, which is nice because my celestial pony got none of that. Because it was a pony.
There's a difference between a pony and a Pegasus. It's
There
the
is.
celestial
It's
damage.
true.
so that's a total
That's the only difference.
of 21 damage.
Wow.
From
Wow.
Lunarith Light Strider, which is pretty doggone cool.
That golem just took a hoof to the face. There's like a big like horseshoe imprint in its crystal cheek.
I love it.
All right.
And then let me see really quick. Oh, never mind. Too far away. Okay, that's all for me.
All right.
I love TPK with the horse girl content. It's
Yeah.
also up for that. Yeah.
Horse girls are loving it. Nis, we are around to you. Nis, you have played a critical round here by causing all of the golems to be stunned for a round, which was great because we know that your magical options are somewhat limited given the spell immunity of these golems. Do you have a second act to follow up your jar smashing?
Yeah, so I've got another spell immunity question here. If I have I believe that they make all saving throws. If I have a magical attack that is just an attack roll that does damage, are they immune from that?
You know that attack rolls always miss. I think the only thing that they would
always miss.
Yes, the only thing that would basically the one we talked about last time, the kind of loophole there is that Magic Missile is a spell that does not make an attack roll and does not require that, and there's no saving throw. So, but anything else, unfortunately, is
one other question, which is if I were to cast a spell that does damage on a save, would they take the damage on a save damage from that, or would
Yes.
they take? They would. So they take half damage if I
they
do
save, but they
I do a spell like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. So a reminder of the fact that they don't. Right. So attack spells in this case, attack rolls always miss for them.
Yes.
On spell
Yes.
attacks.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
A spell attack.
they suck.
They are. These are tough. This is the arrangement of this dungeon is a little weird because I think this is one of the big fights in the dungeon, and it happened to be with how you explored it. Also,
Like,
with,
let's
You mean
go.
going the way we were told
yeah, going
to
the
go?
way you were told. Hardest fight this way.
I wonder why that happened.
Sudden death.
Feels like a trap.
yeah.
Weird.
It's
very
certainly,
weird.
at the very least, it's entrapment. You should talk to a lawyer when you get out of this.
I need an
Fantasy
Admiral Akbar
lawyer.
Right. Is there a lawyer? Is there a lawyer class?
I think it's called a bard. I think you're the closest
Oh,
we've got.
shit.
But
Okay.
Ness, it's your turn.
All right. Magic missile. Pew pew pew.
All right, you gonna focus them, or you gonna spread them out? What do you want to do?
I am going.
There is technically a right answer to that question.
Ooh.
Is there?
I'm going to focus them on the
focus
one that
fire.
looks the worst. Who looks the worst?
The one that's red on the right side.
All right. 15 damage.
15 damage.
Nice.
And I just imagine your bolts going away, and they just leave little dart-sized holes in this crystal golem. Yeah, a couple more good hits on that might be the key to taking it down, which is going to be important because the other one still has a way to go.
Tony,
All right.
I have one
Yeah.
more question.
Yeah.
I've done my attack. Can I
Would you like to move?
I would like to look again at the remnants of the shattered jars. You said
Sure.
that there were organs that were now presumably sitting in a kind of like on rubble in some
Yeah.
of the things.
I sure said that. Would you like to what do you want? Give me a perception check and then tell me, are you looking in general? You want to look at something specific? You tell me what you want to look at, and I'll tell you what you see.
I am wondering if these organs are like
Viable.
Yeah, I wonder.
Do a transplant.
I mean, honestly, what I'm wondering is how strongly do I feel that it would be beneficial for me to destroy the organs inside the things before they can be transplanted into us to take us over.
Yes.
Perception, you said?
Yes, please.
I'm not great at that. It's a 10.
10.
Wait,
you were looking and you...
Wait, Lone Walker.
You're helping?
Wait, no, never mind. We're in combat. We're in
You're in
combat.
combat.
So never mind.
I don't think you want to use your whole action to help looking.
I could, if that's not good enough, I can use my inspiration, but...
I wouldn't. Okay. Let's see. You're looking. So there were, I should totally know this off the top of my head, but there were a bunch
6?
of empty jars.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was more like 8.
Could be.
Yeah, I believe there are 8 jars, and 3 of them were clearly empty. Like you smashed the jar and there was nothing in them. Those jars were marked with a lizard, a scythe, and an axe, which might sound familiar to some of you. But the other jars you shattered, and it did look like there were things in front of them. And I'm going to say that you are looking at a jar near you, and that jar does in fact seem to have organs. There, you give me a medicine check on this. I don't know how have you taken anatomy? Do they teach anatomy and physiology at your university?
Probably. But I only got a 6, so.
I'll say there's some kind of internal organs. It's not one of your main ones. It's not a heart or a lung. And they look like, despite the fact that they were just in a clay jar that was smashed by a magic missile, they look like mint condition. Whatever these, they look like there's something from inside, your torso, and they look surprisingly like they're doing well. Now, the nature of these organs, who they came from, how they got in this jar, why they're doing okay. I think there's a lot of questions that you don't have the answers to yet. But the jars basically just got hit with a magic missile, and it did not seem to damage the organs. So I don't think necessarily that will do anything further to the golems. So,
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. We are back around to the top of the order. I'm going to say that the golems are still, they're going to be stunned until their turn. So Reed Quarrel and Melius, you have a chance to attack a stunned golem, and then they're going to wake up. So Reed Quarrel, you are first.
Okie doke. Well, here I go again. Same as last time. Well, I didn't crit this time, but I did get a maths 20.
Maths 20.
So I will take that. And I will just roll one of these d10s. And, all right, that is 8 plus 2 is 10 points of magical slashing damage. And you know what? I've got another Channel Divinity. I'm going to use it. Please add 31 points
31
of necrotic damage.
All right. You have bloodied the leftmost golem. They are now both bloodied, but one of them has taken a lot more damage than the other. Anything else, Reed Quarrel?
Oh, actually, you know what? I think I can only use one Channel Divinity per turn. Hang on. No, it's two per short rest, so it doesn't say anything. And it's on a separate turn, so I think I'm good. So I'm just going to stay where I am and tank.
Melius, you got your magic sword.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Let's do it.
Come on, Mordenkainen. That's an 18 to hit.
That'll hit. You do.
All right. Oh, you
have
did
advantage.
That's right.
You should roll twice and see if you're going to 20.
No.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you how to play. Brian,
no.
Brian.
No, I did roll. I didn't.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I didn't get it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to play Dungeons and Dragons unless you ask me. In which case, yes,
Let's
I then
see what
will
we
tell
did
you.
here.
Yeah.
That is
29 force damage. Okay. I was both worried that A, you were going to lose, and B, it was going to take a long time. I'm suddenly back on your side. Good job, everybody.
All right, and again, I still have more to do.
You still have an action, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what we're going to do with our actions here. All right, the key here is that we can't do anything that is a spell attack.
Yeah.
Right?
Spell attacks are, well, I mean, they will accomplish nothing. And anything less than a 7th level spell that has a saving throw is unlikely to do anything particularly useful. So your spells that are support based may be your go-tos right now.
Gotcha. Well, if we're going to do that, then how are folks? Well, everybody is still fine,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
I've been hit, but
Okay.
Yeah, as have I, but I'm okay.
I'm at 96 out of 133.
Hi,
so.
I'm over here at the ledge.
I
Nobody's
know
touched
you're
me.
so
Hello.
far. I know you're doing so great too.
Jason,
I don't want to say that I'm okay because I'm next up to be hit by Tony. So I'm not going to say that
Jason,
I'm
take health is a team resource.
I know. Well, yeah, I'm saving it over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So let's
Health
see
and breaking pottery, team resources.
what can
Respect.
I do here? I've got so many cure wounds, but I gotta touch you for that.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get this close.
No, not really. And we'll see here. This might be fun. Yeah, I mean this should help you, Erica. We're gonna go ahead and give you. I'm going to choose. Let's see. Are you within range? No, you're not. Well, hold on. I can.
You could easily move and be within
40
range.
Yeah, I
feet
can move
away.
up a bunch. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna move like here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to move myself. I forgot that that's how that works.
I got you.
Okay, cool. And then we're going to cast Aid on Erica,
Awesome.
which will your hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration.
Nice.
So I gotta hit cast. That's what I
That
did.
gets me back
Bam.
in triple digits. I like it.
Perfect. That is my other action. I have it. I still technically could take a bonus action. Yeah, actually, on top of that, I think what we're going to do is I'm going ahead and I'm going to cast. Ooh,
You can
within
only
60 feet. Oh, go ahead.
You can only do 2 spells if one of them's a cantrip. So keep that in mind.
Gotcha. Is Bardic Inspiration a cantrip?
It might be.
Good question.
It is a bonus action. It's not even. It's like just one of my things I have as a bard. I think it's a feature.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, I
it
don't think
counts.
that's a spell.
I don't
Yeah,
think
not
it's a
a
spell,
spell.
even though it sure seems spell-like. I
Yeah.
think it is not a spell. I think you can do that.
Okay.
You're just really inspiring. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so that means you have I mean, you're the person still that I can reach, the only one. So now you get 1d10 Bardic, you get a 1d10 Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, you know what? I still had one from last time. How long do
Oh,
they
you
last?
still have that one? Oh,
Yeah. I don't think they can double up.
I don't think they
no,
can double
that's a
up.
good point.
Double
Let's
up.
take that back.
I just haven't needed to use it yet.
Yeah, I guess, well, I'm trying to see what it
Oh,
says.
it's 10 minutes. It lasts 10 minutes, so there's no need to give me a second
Yeah, I would
one.
save that.
Yeah.
Saving it. All right, then, yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
Okay.
Woo.
That's me. Me, let's go.
You go.
Sadly,
All right.
yes.
The golems kind of shake off whatever having their jars smashed has done to them, and they, to the effect that a kind of unmoving, stern, stony face can look. They've got their body language suggests they're pissed. The first one on the left is going to attempt to smash Reed Quarrel with giant crystal fists. I'm going to roll 2 attacks on Reed Quarrel. I rolled a 21 and a 13.
Well, guess which one of those hits?
The 21 hits you solidly right in the chest, 25 force damage.
Ouchie, ouch.
Over on the other side of the battle, there's 2 powerful melee fighters and a Pegasus engaged with this this golem. It's going to choose the melee fighters, slam attack on Lone Walker, and slam attack on Vroga. I rolled a 13 to hit. Lone Walker doesn't seem promising. 19 to
does
hit
not.
Vroga. That sounds I think that's probably going to get you right.
Yeah, I've got an armor class of 15, so...
All right. You get pummeled for 28 force damage.
Oh!
And it is your turn.
Hang on, I'm just
Here's
gonna-
a hit.
Damage, there we go. Ooh, okay, down to 107. Ouch.
Okay. You can take a couple more of those.
I can take a couple more of those. It's like, yeah, I'm just like slightly miffed, and my hair like moves slightly to the side, and because that just annoyed me. So I'm, it's like I'm perturbed by that. And I like Vroga grins slightly, and it's like she's going to be born, but she's going for the Berserker Great Axe again.
Okay.
So it worked last time. So we're in advantage. I'm going to...
Do you have advantage?
No.
I think no advantage. Unless you have advantage from another reason.
That is crappy then, because I have a 1.
Oh, no. You swing wildly and you almost take off Lone Walker's ear.
Yeah. That's what happens when I get slightly cocky. Okay.
Yep.
That's totally what happens.
But I believe you get a second attack.
I got a second attack. I'm just gonna even though it embarrassed the crap out of me,
No, that was a wind-up swing. That was
a wind-up spell. I'm like, it's like, even though I have no time for it, I kind of flex my shoulders and go for it. Okay, so going for it again, and 19.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, and okay, going for damage, and we've got a 10.
10 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. All set, Sarah?
Yep, that's me.
Lone Walker, you and Lunareth are next.
So let's go ahead and wind up for Warhammer. I don't think a 16 hits. Isn't that just below?
16 is just below the armor class of a Canopic Golem.
But an 18 is just above the armor class.
Their armor class is 17, people.
So that's 14 damage, but I think I will go ahead and add a little magic to that, which will be how many D8? A lot of D8. So that is, where are you? Sorry, I always misplace this.
It's all good. Playing Dungeons and Dragons.
That's what editing's for.
That's what editing's for.
This is the extra content that the members pay for.
Yeah.
Bootleg.
And no Glenn.
And yes, that too. That's the second thing.
Reference acknowledged to podcast recorded earlier today.
Oh, that's a running bit, but yes, also.
Yes, also. Can you believe we did a run through that entire game show a week ahead of time?
I cannot.
We did. It took quite a while.
It didn't help.
Or
maybe it did help. Oh boy, imagine.
I believe it. It did. We were not ready a week ago, so yeah. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a high high degree of difficulty. Sorry, Micah's back.
I'm going to expend a spell slot to deal an extra 3d8 of radiant damage on top 38. Of what's already been done. So 13. That's 13 extra damage on top of the 14.
Oh, this
27.
golem is like all of its like edges have been like chipped away at and smashed, and it's the surface that was like this kind of shiny Silver Surfer-esque thing before is all like pockmarked and diminished, but it's still coming for you. Is Lunareth going to do anything about this?
Lunareth is going to try for a hit, and we know that's just under the
16. Yeah, somehow the golem kind of pivots sideways, bits of it crumbling off of it as it evades a hoof attack.
It now knows that it needs to be careful of this deadly Pegasus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it thought before, I don't need to worry about that thing.
All right, all set, Micah?
Yeah, that's all for me.
Jason, Nis is next.
Hooray. Okay, so the guy on the right appears to be the
much
teetering.
Real bad. Yeah, teetering.
All right. Can you help me with some geography here, Tony? I need to see a straight line to that guy with nobody else in the way. Do you think I can move and line up a shot?
That's a little hard because you have 3 friends crowded around it. Do you need the line with no friends in the way?
I need no friends in the way.
That's gonna be. I mean, especially you can only move so far. That's gonna be hard.
Step, do you?
No. How about for the other one? Can I slide so that the?
Yeah, I feel like you.
That
could totally,
one, it looks like I could probably do because
literally, if you were anywhere along this side, I think you could. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Or even a little bit more to the right.
Or could I just maybe like over here?
Yeah.
Move to the right so that I get a little bit.
I see lots of lines between you and that one that don't have a friend in the way.
All right.
I see very few between you and that one that don't have a person or a Pegasus between you and. I have mislabeled that horse character several times. What is it canonically?
Mine?
Pegasus.
Yeah,
It's a Pegasus.
Yeah. Are you talking
Okay.
about? But it is a Pegasus. But I
right.
don't know if you meant its name.
I think I thought it was a unicorn at
Lunar
times,
F, but it's a Pegasus.
All right.
All right.
Got it.
So I'm gonna Nis will take some steps to her right until the leftmost of the golems is a clear shot, and then she is going to cast lightning bolt.
Lightning bolts.
Oh, okay. Good that you weren't looking for where we are.
Didn't we?
Yeah, and that is 25. So they will take 12 damage, halved because they made their saving throw.
They had to make a saving throw, and you've calculated that they've automatically made it. Got it.
Yes,
So 12 damage.
So they'll take 12 damage, but they still take damage from a spell, which I like.
Yep.
And now I'm going to use sorcery points. I'm going to use 2 sorcery points. One, 2.
I don't know if I've seen you use these before.
I
I don't know
haven't.
what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
And what that lets me do is let's see here. I thought there was a. Oh, maybe not. No, unfortunately, no. I think everything. Yeah, I can't actually do the rest of them. That's too. I take it back. I don't have a cantrip that I can cast that doesn't get foiled by their immunity.
Yeah.
So never mind. I am going to. I'm just going to stay where I am.
All right. We are back to the top of the order, third round of combat. Reed Quarrel, you are next.
Hey, I'm just glad that lightning actually affected them. I was worried there was some construct thing we were going to run into.
There's so many things already.
Right? All right, so I'm just, I don't have any more channel divinity, so I can't do that like extra boost of necrotic energy. But I can still just attack, and I rolled a 21, so I hit. But now I am down to a paltry single D10. But at least it's magical. But I rolled a 4 plus 2 is 6, so it's 6 points of magic damage.
All right.
Most of my damage dealing capability comes from my spells, which in this fight not helpful.
Not
Not
great.
so helpful.
Not great.
Melius?
I think I will.
Sorry, Reed Quarrel,
I'm also going to. I'm going to use my bonus action to do another healing word on myself.
Okay.
Position heal thyself.
Yeah. Melius?
Okay.
Heal
here we
thyself
go.
before attempting to heal others.
Yes.
Let's
While on the flight. All right.
let's go after okay, 21 to hit. I guess we'll roll again to see if we crit.
You no longer have an
No.
advantage.
Oh, no more
so-
advantage.
Oh,
Sorry.
no more advantage.
We'll take that 20.
We'll take 21.
Yeah.
21 is good, yeah.
Great. Okay, so now let's go ahead and 4d12.
40-12.
That is 30 points.
That's a
of damage.
lot.
That is a lot of damage. All right. That magic sword is just chopping away at that golem.
Okay, so and I did actually learn that my let's see, my good old light crossbow is a magic weapon.
Sweet.
Excellent. And so what I'm going to do before I use it is I'm going to use True Strike to give myself if I hit, it'll be an extra 2d6 plus 2 damage.
Okay.
Nice.
So let's go here.
No.
Oh,
You roll a
man.
critical failure. Your crossbow jams, and the bolt is like locked in the thing. Oh.
Oh, but I am also now with, let's see, is this damage? Okay. Thorn Whip. Would that be like a spell attack? It's a
I
cantrip.
think that's a spell attack. It's a spell
Okay.
attack. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Boo.
Boo.
And we should give a shout out to listener
yes.
Girl Phoenix 85 in the chat, who pointed out that aid does not just affect one person. So
Thank you.
Yes.
So Melius
Thank you very
also.
much.
It
I did
takes-
get that, yes.
The rules of Dungeons and Dragons are many. It takes a group to figure things out. And
really
sometimes
does.
that group includes people who are not playing the game.
Just a village, a chat room.
Village. Yeah. All right. Canopic Golems are going to go next. They're going to pummel people. Reed Quarrel, you are the only one in front of that.
Yep.
Unfortunate Golem. 28 and 29. Erica, I'm just going to tell you that does a total of 62 damage.
Oh my god! Well, I'm still up.
You're still
I
up.
healed myself a little bit. Let's see. 62. I have 19 points. One
All
more hit
right.
and I'm down.
We're making this real exciting over there. On the other
Wait,
side.
hold on. Let's see if can I do this now? Let's see. Can I throw cutting words at it?
You
I don't think
could.
it would be enough to get it down because it was.
Oh,
Didn't you
okay.
roll a 28 and 29?
I did.
Yeah.
That's
So
true, yeah.
even if you rolled the top of
It's a
it,
1d10, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
yeah, my armor class is 17, so it'll help.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it's close, cutting words could be a good thing to throw in
Got
there.
it.
Yeah.
That's one of those tricky ones, Brian, where you kind of have to know other people's armor classes, or they need
Right.
to
Yeah.
know that you have cutting words to be like, anyone have
That's true.
cutting
And
words?
now that I know that, I'm gonna.
Friends, yes, I have cutting words, and also I think I know what I'm going to do next because somebody's going to need some help.
Yeah. On the other side of the horrible tomb, the other Canopic Golem, swinging wildly like it knows that this is its last turn on Earth, slams at Lone Walker, 20 versus armor class, slams at Vroga. Roll some dice. 27, Vroga. 26 damage. Micah, does 20 hit Lone Walker?
Yeah.
29 force damage. Vroga, it is your turn.
Wait,
just
wait.
popping-
I thought you said 26 damage. Is it
26 for
26 or
me.
29?
26. There was
Oh.
different damages for each of you. So 26 damage for Vroga,
Oh, nice.
29 damage for Lone Walker.
81.
Oh, okay. Now I'm not so great.
Hey,
Yeah, I got like a cough. Okay, right. Okay, we're going in it. We're just going in it. I'm just slashing
new-
away.
okay,
Yeah,
you don't
like,
have a new approach here, right?
Raid.
No, it's like there's not much of like yeah. This is
Yeah.
this is my jam.
This is you're gonna
Okay.
go out swinging. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we're please. Oh, there's no swearing in TPK. Okay, that's good. That's a no.
Okay. Oh, you have one of those dice that says no on it. That's
No.
It's like 3 plus 9. That's a
No,
12.
I'm
so
sorry.
No.
Second attack.
Okay. Second attack. Okay, we're going. Come on. This time. Yes, critical.
All right. There you go. Double
Two
those damage
sides.
dice.
Okay, doubling the damage dice. Okay, we have got. Well, that's not great.
The dice they give it. This is
the roll
This is a
The
commentary.
roller
guys, dice
coaster
give
ride,
us.
Sarah.
The guys take it away.
Despair, success, despair again.
That's a 9 damage on the big, not so shiny guy.
All right. He looks like he does not have a lot of hit points left. Things are not good for him. Is that it, Vroga?
That's it. Yeah.
Lone Walker, you think if you could hit this guy, you could take him down?
I think I can. And so I do attempt to. How does a 23 sound?
You
Sounds pretty darn
smash
tasty.
it.
What? Yeah.
In the chest, Warhammer, the golem stumbles backward and like falls and hits the ground and kind of shatters into many pieces, but it's a little bit like there's a shell breaking off of it, as you can see the fallen form of a humanoid body that was like inside the golem, and in fact you recognize the creature that is laying there is in fact wearing kind of the yellow colored robes of the occupants of the house of the all-seeing orb. So this seems like this must have been one of the followers of
Are they
Balance
dead,
Sarnaster.
too?
They are dead, and in fact they
Okay.
are. Yeah, they're dead. Yeah, good. This is success.
Success
Lone Walker.
never tasted so bitter.
That was an action from you. You theoretically have other
That
things.
was
you
an
can do.
action. And so I want to see.
Can
Do I
you
have
fly
to roll
over?
that?
You have a Pegasus.
I do have a
Oh my
Pegasus.
god.
But that can only get me so far.
Oh, I forgot that I had this. Oh.
Oh, good. I have a Misty Step as a bonus action. So
You want to Misty Step to the bottom of the pit and fight that sarcophagus all by yourself?
Tony, don't be helpy.
I'm just
No, I don't. I wanted to go to the other side
Some
and
kind
fight
of help is the help we all could do without. Tony.
Now I'm worried I'm missing something. It does, friends, table. It makes sense for Lone Walker to go to the other side and try and kill the other thing, right?
Absolutely. If you can get there, that would be great.
Yes, and I can. So with the help of Lunareth and the help of a bonus action, I to do just a bonus action. No, a bony action.
Bony action.
I told you I'm firing on all cylinders today. I'm able to make it
what
across.
a weird accent.
The bony action. Yeah.
the bony action. Exactly.
The bony action.
So can you bring your Pegasus with Misty Step, or is Lunareth left hovering
I can.
over? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I checked on that last time to make sure.
That's right, I
and
remember
yes,
that. So
She is
This
able
golem doesn't
to
know what's
join me.
coming.
Yeah,
so
this
here's where
golem-
we find out if something weird happens to you when you fly over the center of the pit.
Nothing.
Yeah,
happens to you
because
when you
oh,
fly over the center
so
of
I
the
did
pit.
Misty Step first. So let me see. Misty Step lets me move. How much? 30.
I think it's 30.
Um,
and then the
so if
speed
I
of
went
Pegasus is
5,
at least 60.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, that's where I would have I guess I would have appeared here. Oh, you said I'm fine. Okay, cool.
You're fine.
So
Don't go down, but you're fine.
now I have one more. Ooh. Okay. This
You're not
is
having
interesting.
another attack.
Because I have 2 attacks per action, but didn't I take my action
fine.
before? Okay, I can still split that up even though I'm moving and
believe
stuff.
so.
Okay.
That's how we've
Great.
always done it on TPK.
I believe
if
that's how it
somebody
works.
doesn't
You
like
can
it,
break up.
then there's a stop button right in front of you.
You-
Yeah, it's called TPK. Too bad, kid.
Too bad, kid. TPK. Ooh, 21. That's going to do it.
All right.
So that's going to be 15. And you know what? We're just coming in with as much power as we can. So let's go ahead and do an extra channel divine smite. I mean,
Nice.
to do an extra 2d8 bonus damage. So
Oh,
9 extra damage.
Good stuff.
All right. Things are not good for that golem.
And I say, no, I don't. That's not. It wasn't a Lone Walker thing. I was going to be like, the power of my God compels you, but that's really not Lone Walker. So no. Micah said it. It was funny to him.
Lone Walker went.
No.
Yeah.
No. Lone Walker has a lot of intrusive thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're me. And he's very upset about it.
Yeah.
It's
Sometimes
really
I feel
annoying.
like I'm being controlled like a puppet. I don't understand.
This poor guy.
Does Lunareth get to do anything, or was flying you
Oh,
over? What's the main?
Lunareth was that was just her movement. Wow. This feels,
Oh, please,
I feel
please
OP.
have a Pegasus take down. Take this
Oh my
thing down.
God,
That'd be so amazing. A
Attack!
21 hits. We love that.
We love that.
So that's going to do 10 bludgeoning plus 4.
And this was the turn where Lone Walker and Lunareth destroyed
Yes! Oh my God!
golems. Because that's how it works in Dungeons and Dragons. The
Yay!
team sinks hundreds of hit points of damage into things, but whoever hits it last gets the credit. And so,
Lunareth gets the credit.
the second golem crumbles and hits the ground. And you
Reed
see
Quarrel immediately walks to the wall and slumps down with her back to the wall and just breathes very, very heavy.
you see the
Revenge
body
of the horse girls.
of a human mage that was kind of encased inside the crystalline structure. You are out of combat. You have taken a beating. There are probably some strange mysteries to be explored in this room in terms of what is going on. But you have survived, which is the big deal. So,
Barely.
which was not guaranteed.
So, yeah, we need to heal up.
Is this a place where we could just sit still for an hour and meditate and use hit dice? I mean,
I
has
think
anybody...
you could. There is the challenge. I think you can, there's literally like blinking and roving eyes worked into the walls of everything. So it's very likely that somewhere Valen Sarnaster knows exactly where you are and what you're doing. But it might be worth it taking an hour rest just to,
And there were no rooms that we walked through that were blinking eyeless, or
So
okay.
the whole thing is, her domain, and she sees all.
All right.
Okay, well then
Reed
I
Quarrel
it's
is
like
going to.
Vroga is like middle fingering around
all
the
of
ring.
them.
Yeah. I love that.
Yep.
All right, so short rest.
Let's
rest.
attempt it, and then Tony can
Yeah.
tell us if we get interrupted.
You are successful.
Okay, then
Yay.
we can roll our hit dice because I'm going to use all of them. Probably every single one of my 13 of them.
How do we do it? Okay, sorry for noob question.
that's okay.
That's good.
D&D Beyond, how do I do the short
You
rest?
tap
Just
short
click on
rest.
Short rest? Okay.
Yeah, click on short rest, and then you'll see that down at the bottom it shows your class, and it shows some squares underneath. That is equivalent to how many hit die you have. If you're choosing to roll them in real life, then just mark the squares for how many short rests you're taking.
Or how many hit die you're
hit
taking.
dice you're spending.
Sorry, that is what I meant. How many hit
Heal.
die?
Yeah.
And you do have a
okay, you
bard
lost
who
me
may be
here
able
completely.
to
Sorry.
heal some people.
Do you have like a Melius? Do you have like a song of rest or something that you could play that would help us heal during the short rest? I know that's a thing that exists. I don't know if your character has it.
We can't hear you, Brian, if you're talking. I think you're talking.
That stupid thing has like a touch sensitive button on the top.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was working great until that moment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I have. It doesn't look like I have Song of Rest.
Okay.
So maybe something you have to take yourself individually.
Yeah, it's a spell.
That's annoying. I mean, I do have Mass Cure Wounds, and I have a lot of things.
I'm almost back to full
help
now.
you. Okay.
It's always good
And
to use
I
hit
can also
dice
lay on
first.
hands too.
Yeah, I have. Okay, so that'd be 3 that we want to roll. Okay, why did it only roll 1? Thanks, machine. That's weird. Why'd you do that? Oh no, hold on.
Nis, I know you don't need to do any healing.
Nope.
Would you like to
fine.
do any investigations while other people
Yeah,
are taking? You've got an hour while
Yeah,
other
okay.
people need to rest
So
and heal.
a few things.
And
One thing is-
you can be busy, a busy bee during.
I
that
want to
hour.
look. I want to look at the organs again and see if I have any thoughts about whether I could zap them and destroy them from here or not. What do you think? I could even
tell
do
me-
a cantrip and try to firebolt them and see
you're
what
like-
happens.
You're not in combat, so you're like super free to move around,
Yeah.
right? So like, is there a specific one you'd like to look at, or?
Well, what's the nearest one to me that that has an organ left?
Yeah. So you were looking in one, and it looked like it's got like a pair of organs in it. Give me a new medicine check.
It's just an 8.
Neat. I'm going to say you concentrate on this a little bit closer, and you think these are kidneys.
Okay.
And they were in a jar that, let's just see here. They had a wand on the jar. You can still see there's like a fragment of it, and they look kind of like they are perfectly preserved.
Can I do like Arcana maybe and try
Yeah.
to think what's happening here?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 14.
14. You think that these are, and it's I know it's been a while in out of game time, but in game time it was basically like this morning that you all were flipping through that Canopic Being or that book back in Candlekeep. I know some people were anti-book. That's okay. But that book was all this horrible information about a ritual for a mummy lord putting organs into people, and you think that basically a mummy lord, probably Valen Sarnaster, has taken her kidneys and put them in somebody, and then that person's kidneys have been put in this jar for safekeeping. So rather than store her kidneys in a jar where a lizard sorcerer could just come along and destroy them, she has placed them in a living being.
Goodness.
So these are just pickled kidneys.
Oh,
Delicious.
should we
Anybody
taste?
hungry?
I love that we all
It's
went.
probably Niss's like delicacy.
Oh, gross.
And
That's
Apparently not.
culturally insensitive.
I think Nis also wants to investigate the dead bodies and see what
Yeah.
she can learn about that.
yeah. So you go over, I'm going to say you head north to there's a body there, and it's a body of somebody who is clad in the yellow robes of the House of the All-Seeing Orb. You remember there was a list. They included all of your names of
Right.
potential. It was unclear if they were past or future victims of this mummy lord. And you knew that one of the names on there was a cleric of the House of the All-Seeing Eye who had donated the book to Candlekeep Library. And looking at this person, you think that they might be that person. You're looking at this particular body that you've approached, and there's like a big stitch mark down their side with kind of like Frankenstein heavy thread stitching on them.
Sure.
Yeah. Looking at the other body, there's a big kind of zipper stitch mark on the back of their neck at the top of their spine.
Cute.
But they're dead. They're very dead.
They're very dead.
I have a
Okay.
pretty good medicine. If anybody Reed Quarrel is sitting still. That is
Yeah.
what is happening.
Aren't you great at corpses?
But if somebody wants to,
Title.
yeah, she is feeling a lot better now, like so much better. But she had to do some serious like meditation and prayers to Kalimvor to get there. So maybe she can get up and do medicine if somebody like.
Yeah, I mean, because we may have their organs nearby, but I don't know if you take a dead body and you stick some pickled kidneys in it. I'm not sure it helps.
Yeah.
Doesn't bring them back.
The question might be, what's in the body?
Yeah, that's I want to.
That's true. Okay,
investigate
that could
the
be
body
a
itself,
that's more of a re-quarrel thing than a Nis thing. Nis, I just want to go again. There were 3 jars that didn't have organs in them,
Correct.
and they were a lizard, a scythe, and
Axe.
an axe.
So me and you and Sarah.
Right, but not Lone Walker and Melius, which is
trust
interesting.
What?
I'm cutting open Lone Walker next.
That's right.
All of him?
No, just just an exploratory. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I
I
think
have a +9
I'd like Re-Quarrel to maybe
+9 for cutting?
look at the
for medicine.
at the maybe even
But yeah, I
open
got
up
a
those
21.
scars. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 21 on a medicine check. I want to do a little light
Autopsying.
autopsy. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
Oh,
On the
you
one
meant
on
to
this
say
side.
that. A little light autopsying for everyone.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to go for.
Yep.
My brain just couldn't
Paul,
get
play some autopsying music now.
I put the 2 bodies just next to each other.
Nice.
So you head over
Nis
Yep.
dragged those over so that
yeah, just you keep them. You got to tidy this place up. And Reed Quarrel, you're inspecting the body. You're looking at the body of Zemru Thal, who donated the book. Zemru had the jar with a crystal ball image on it. The other one was an image of a wand, and you're looking at the big kind of stitching along the top of its head where something was taken out or removed. And I'm gonna say you're rolling a medicine check to open it up and inspect.
Yeah,
Give me that
21.
medicine. 21. You look inside, and it is a dead body. The body shows many of the wounds that you had inflicted on the golem, but inside this creature's head is something very unsettling. For you open it up, and it's the back of their head, and there's a brainstem there, but the brainstem is all withered and dead and kind of. At first it's just very unsettling how it looks and smells, and then it kind of twitches with necrotic energy.
This is an abomination. Is it undead? Can I?
It does. It looks like the brainstem of this creature is undead. The rest of the creature is just dead. Brainstem, undead.
Huh. That's very weird. I call Lone Walker over and I say, Lone Walker, I believe, and I point, like I pull the skin apart and I point at the brainstem and I say, I believe this piece of this X thing may be undead. What do you think? I know that you have a strong connection to your god as well.
Indeed. And immediately you feel sort of a sense of it's like a magical sonar that kind of comes through the air. And so you feel it almost in your eardrums as Lone Walker casts Detect Good and Evil, which of course lets him determine if anything is affected by the Hallow spell, or if there's a celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
This is the brainstem of a mummy lord that has planted it inside one of its followers and transformed that follower into a canopic golem, keeping their brainstem safe and preserved. And you know that you basically, by defeating the golem and cutting open this fellow's head, have the ability to just with one swipe destroy it. And you know, Lone Walker, as long as the mummy lord has organs housed within its followers, it will always be able to return no matter what you do to the mummy lord.
Do you say that out loud?
I
just
do.
keep it to yourself.
And oddly, it sounds just like Tony's voice, and you're very caught off guard.
Right. Then I say, I trust you to dispose of this, because I'm sure you can just poke it with a dagger and it'll be dead. And then I immediately go to the next body and start poking around.
And I do, while whispering a prayer to my deity to sort of imbue it with God magic.
Yeah.
God magic. Okay.
It's like matter meeting antimatter at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you just smite it with your warhammer?
I smite. No, I don't want to use a warhammer.
Nis holds up a hand to Lone Walker and says, I got this. And
Perfect.
She takes a finger and she just touches it, and that's Shocking Grasp, and it does 3d8 damage.
Nis, you see out of the corner of your eye over in one of the little sconces where there is a kind of weird little pickled brainstem in a jar. They both kind of ignite in the same electrical fire that you laid upon them.
And Nis looks up at Lone Walker and winks.
I don't know what.
They have a special relationship, those two.
And so you have learned
I
something.
didn't know that.
You have learned something about what is going on here. Perhaps you have validated some of your suspicions about Valen Sarnaster, the reclusive seer, who seems to be, having some dalliances with the undead. And perhaps most importantly, you have realized that in order to defeat a mummy lord, you may first need to defeat all of the organs that have been safely tucked away. How many organs are there left? Where will they be found? And what obstacles will you have to overcome before you're able to determine that? Tune in next time to find out on Total Party Kill. Dun dun.
I just realized I rolled the wrong hit die, so I need to re-roll. I won't be up quite as high as I
Re-roll
thought.
your hit dice.
Yeah, in
should we
between.
take a break? I know there might be some stuff to figure out with some
Yes.
short rests, and then we'll play another
sorry,
hour.
I
Does that
can't.
work?
Yeah, for life
That's
of me,
okay.
it's like hit die
Sure.
is not appearing as on my
right.
on D&D Beyond.
We will. How long do you want the break to be, Tony?
Can it be a
take us
little
off the
bit
live
longer
stream.
so that I can make some coffee real quick after
do
I
that.
help?
10-minute break?
Coffee?
12?
Waffy.
Can we do 12?
12.
Well, oh.
Yeah,
12
Linda Richmond, we'll make it a 12.
Mike is a hell of a negotiator.
Coffee.
12-minute break?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean,
All right.
Back at 12?
sure.
Back at
Thank you, 12.
Thank you, 12. That is 5:27. No, 5:32 my time.
Or 32 after the hour?
32 after the hour.
There you go.
Cool.
Off we
Back
go.
soon. get all this great chair talk on.
Yeah, chair talk is back.
With
chair
Chip and
talk
Jack.
is back.
I mean, to be fair, I literally had a podcast where, I mean, it was fat people talking about being fat. So we talked a lot about chairs and how nobody builds them for most people.
Yeah, it's all commodity and probably based on institutional sales. And then there,
Yep.
I was in Memphis and we were doing St. Jude stuff, and I was talking to we were talking about Studio Neat, which is they do Kickstarters and they do all this great stuff, and I was talking about their box cutter basically that they made, and like it's amazing. It is the most beautiful, and it's like hand assembled, and they designed it, and it's very thoughtfully designed. It's so good. And the person I'm talking to was like, well, how much does it cost? And I said, I think it's like $75. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, you got to understand, we now live in a world where you either buy the mass produced thing that costs $20 or $15 and breaks and is crappy, or you spend $75 on a really nice one and there's nothing in between, and that's just sort of how it is,
especially as somebody who usually buys the cheap thing.
Yeah,
where it's like, I don't know, I don't think I've lived, I buy like not the cheapest frying pan at Target, but it's not the expensive one. Yeah. And I'm on like my third frying pan in my life, and I don't think I've, I don't think I've lived a life.
I've started eyeing the stainless steel frying pans that are because my
I just had to do
nonstick
that.
one.
We just got an induction range, so I had to buy all new pots and pans. They last.
Yeah, you'll have them for ages.
Yeah,
This is one problem that my partner had when I moved in, because he is a very deliberate and careful person. And my nickname is Hurricane.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So the number of things that started breaking around the house.
Yeah.
I now have my own bowls.
Whoa.
And cups that are not breakable.
I broke a bowl this week.
That's
I felt bad.
I have my 13-year-old niece arriving out from the other end of the country in a little while, and she's gonna be she's gonna be using all my nice stuff.
Yeah.
That's my stuff.
That's my stuff.
I love you, but that's my stuff.
There's gonna be other people in your house.
I know, right? This is
Yes. Sorry, that I identified with that so heavily for so long.
I made tea to go along with Micah making coffee.
That's
nice.
I feel like
Cheers.
it's
I got a
cooler
Dr. Pepper
and
Zero.
earlier where you are.
Yeah, I've already done
Cheers.
2 double espressos this morning,
Yeah.
so I probably should not go for a third.
But I did
Every
stand
time I have a
outside on our
DDP. Oh, go ahead. You
our
first.
south balcony for a few minutes.
You enjoyed
and,
the
my
nice
God,
warm.
It's gorgeous. It's like 80 degrees.
I
Right
know,
now.
Annette. I was already on a podcast with
Funny.
Annette today, and she was bragging about it. So yeah.
Yep.
Should we play another Round of Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I'm not ready yet.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I was told I had until 32 after.
You do.
You
The
were
answer
told
is
that.
no.
I think I'm going to do in one more little heal thing in what's it,
Okay.
because I'm only up to 95.
I'm all good on hit points, Tony.
For now.
Look,
You get to take the next battle.
Nis did some very useful things.
You did.
That's
in
true.
an encounter where almost none of Nis's
Where-
powers are
We
available.
would be dead. We would
I'm being
absolutely
extra
be
mean to
dead.
you, Jason, because this was an encounter where you were,
Totally
your
nerfed.
abilities were limited.
Oof, it was brutal.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that's. It's also the wait. In some ways, it's the inverse of a lot of things where it's like. Some of my high level characters are just melee characters, and it's like I wait an hour while the magic users are
I know,
filtering through
right?
things. It's like I hit or I attack, I miss. I attack again, I miss.
Yeah.
All right,
This
now
is
to
me
hear
as
a bunch of
Carlos.
people talk about spells for
Yeah,
25 minutes.
they're like, oh, I could play this thing, and I've got to do this thing, and I'm going to take a side point, Erica,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do this thing, and all of that. And then Carlos is like, I hit, then I hit again. Okay, done, bye.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling like there.
And
It's
this
like,
was like,
you guys
I'm a
take that.
wizard. I
Healer
can do
or
nothing.
A fighter.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that was like I got sorcery points, I got level 7, level 6. Nope,
Your
can't do
sorcery
any
points
of it.
are worth nothing.
I
here.
literally cast a spell knowing it would do half damage. That's how bad that
Yeah.
was.
And I will tell you, I scoped the golems down a little bit. As written, the golems succeed on saving throws of 7th level or lower. I decided it was below 7th level for where you were at, because otherwise I think it would just have taken
I
forever.
literally only had one 7th level spell slot, so and
yeah,
it's gone.
I feel like you shouldn't be able
Same,
to
and it's gone
do
now.
nothing. I feel like you should expend your most powerful thing, and that should have a chance.
Unfortunately, my sorcery points don't let me buy back level 6 or 7, only up to 5, so I couldn't even replenish.
So one thing I think that I would probably be deeply concerned with as we look at this situation we find ourselves in at the moment is that I am connected to this being called the Twilight Voice, which is an entity that I encountered during a near-death experience in the space between planes. So we engage in a mutual exchange of knowledge that occasionally guides my travels towards phenomena I might otherwise overlook. This feels like one of those. Like there is something going on here that is causing problems across the planes.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to need to consider how I might contact the Twilight Voice, because I think it should probably know.
Yeah, things are
Maybe
bad.
it will have some news for me. So I toss that to you, Tony.
Okay.
As we move forward through this.
I will make sure you have, or I will attempt to have an opportunity to contact the Twilight Voice. What does the Twilight Voice sound like?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
We're gonna find out.
all
Is the Twilight Voice in the room with us?
Does it sound
Twilight
like a
Voice
goblin?
sound like a goblin
I hope not.
Or a rat? Which of the two?
Hey.
You only get.
Maybe a goblin rat?
Or it could be some
Or a
sort of a
horse.
Brooklyn guy. Like, yeah, it's me, the Twilight Voice. Well, forget about it.
I'm voicing here.
I love your characters. Professor Rat will always be
Professor
my
Rat.
favorite, which is why I give
Yep.
you.
I mean, these days,
crap
Tony,
about
you
Professor
can
Rat.
just press a button and have the voice you want.
I take a certain satisfaction in my lack of craft. So
That's fair.
All right.
These
Let's
are
be nice to my friend
artisanal-
Tony, please, Tony.
artisanal, homemade, horrible voices. Hey, Erica, it's 34 after the hour. How you doing?
Oh yeah,
you
I'm
ready?
ready now.
All right.
Yep.
Erica's like,
yeah.
listen.
Wait, now I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to get some it's like
Chainmail
leather armor or something.
at least
to wear
maybe
to these stations.
Oh, that's
maybe an
cool.
axe, Sarah.
This is more than I usually do.
How will
I just thought
your students
black
feel
hoodie.
if you have an axe hanging on the wall behind you?
No, that would be awesome. But
Yeah.
it's like
You're allowed
so
to have an axe in
you
your
want an
home office.
extinction, do you?
You can't have an axe in
Yeah.
the
They'll be
campus
like,
office.
they'll be like, do you know Broldish?
Yeah. All right, let's do the thing. Jason, are we rolling?
We are rolling. We've been
Clicking the
rolling.
buttons?
Rolling,
All
rolling,
right.
rolling.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a Dungeon Master. Use he and pronouns. Today, we are continuing one of our Candlekeep library adventures, our Candlekeep mysteries, specifically the Canopic Being. They found a book, and that book had the names of adventurers written in it, more or less in the vicinity of some instructions for a mummy lord building up its power, and that seemed bad. So our adventurers went out in the world to do something about it. Are they past victims of the mummy lord or future victims? We'll find out together. Also, the librarian is missing, an oracle's being spooky, and an assortment of organs are not where they should be. But before I get any further, let's introduce our players. They will introduce their characters, and then we'll get caught up. First up, it's Jason Snell.
Hello, I am playing Nis. She is a sorcerer and a lizard folk, and the dean of Lizard Sorcery University,
LSU.
LSU. Go magic spelling lizards.
Okay. Go lizard. Their mascot is a lizard. That didn't feel like that.
Casting a spell. It's literally just a picture
Okay.
of Nis that she had hanging around.
How long did a committee spend on that one?
Unfortunately, they couldn't afford a committee.
Okay.
So this is little niece. Niece's Nis
Niece's Nis.
handed her like a cartoon, like a little crayon drawing, and Nis was like,
Okay.
good enough. We're not going to really do
That's how you
athletics
know
anyway.
this is a fantasy world, because in the real world they would have spent like $25,000 on a consultant to tell them to do that.
The consultant died in the swamp, Tony, so they had to move on.
Escapism. Also joining us, it's Sarah Bickerton. Welcome back, Sarah.
Hi, Tony. So I'm playing Vroga Tribesbrain, a half-orc barbarian, she/her. She's currently feeling a little bit down because even after healing the last thing, she lost like a quarter of her hit points. So she is feeling like rolling the shoulders a little bit, just kind of working the cracks out and that kind of stuff. Not to mention, she's still on the other side of the damn room, and everybody else is like cuddled around like the dead.
You are now free to move around the room.
Yeah, I know, but it's like she's not. Yeah, see, Vroga isn't big on like the thinking, so she'll leave the thinking to the other characters that apparently are good at it. So
that's just good management, delegation.
Yeah. She can hit things. It's good.
Next up, it's Brian Guffey. Welcome back, Brian.
Hello. My name is Brian Guffey, and I'm playing Melius Starsinger, who is a bard who's also a druid magic initiate. And Melius is incredibly concerned about these very strange things that have been found, but is also very busy running around drawing little pictures of them.
Okay.
Melius is obsessed with cataloging knowledge, sometimes to the to the detriment of the party. So that's something people should know.
Cool. Also joining us, Erica Ensign.
Hello. Yes, Erica Ensign, she, her, playing Reed Quarrel Kilgareth, a human cleric to the god Kelimvor, the comforting god of death. And she is very, her one mission in life is to stamp out the undead, because that is an abomination and a twisting of the way death is supposed to work. So the fact that there is an undead element to these things, these constructs, is really, really deeply upsetting to her. And not just the fact that she lost almost 90% of her hit points in this fight. So... So yeah, it's basically adding. Actually, it's literally adding insult to injury.
And last but not least, it's Micah Sargent.
Ahoy! I'm Mike Sargent, he, him, and I am playing Ashguri Lone Walker Makota Tahani, better known as Lone Walker, he, him, a Goliath Paladin, and his wonderful Pegasus Lunarith Lightstrider, Makota Tahani, who goes by Lunarith instead of her nickname, which is Lightstrider. It's very confusing, but it's her choice, so she, her.
I just want to say that Lone Walker has the single greatest name, I think, in all of Dungeons & Dragons.
Thank you. I will say, I'm happy to say, I did spend a lot of time on making that choice, so that means a lot. Thank you.
All right, so our adventurers are deep within the domain of Valen Sarnaster. They have traveled kind of the other side of the world via teleportation. They have met with representatives from the House of the All-Seeing Orb, who, of course, told them that their visit was foreseen. And they've traveled into this little pocket dimension where, allegedly, Valen Sarnaster is just, off communing with the spirits and making, seeing the world that is to be seen and living a quiet life in sequestration. And sometimes people come and study with her for a while. But it seems like there may be some organ thievery going on here, and that Valen Sarnaster is embracing the way of the undead. So you have defeated 2 of her followers who were in the form of Canopic golems. You have basically dissected one of them and discovered an undead brainstem inside their head. There are jars with organs. There are jars that were waiting to have organs in them. I don't know what's going to happen next, but you have learned a great deal about mummy lords. What will happen next, players?
The next thing that's going to happen is Reed Quarrel is heading over to the other body and dissecting this one. And doing
all right, big
check.
Stitch marks on the side. Give me a medicine check.
Oh, that one's not as good. That is, let's see, 13.
You slice it open, and there are horrible, pulsing, zombie mummy kidneys inside this creature.
Ooh.
All right. Reed Quarrel just goes stiff and is angry and grabs her holy symbol and says a few words, and a spectral hand appears reaching into the body and grasps the kidneys and basically overloads it with necrotic power.
All right.
Is there a certain amount that I need to do, or is any damage okay? Okay.
Any damage is okay. Across the room, you see the pickled kidneys in the shattered shards of the jar, also consumed with necrotic power, and kind of
I'd like to
burned
roll.
away.
I'd like to understand the sort of the like. Is there anything that I would know about the past? Has this ever been done before? Like, is this looks like something we've done before? I want to roll a history check.
Yeah, give me a history check.
Good call.
Yeah, that's a 28.
28.
Heck yeah.
You know,
That's some history.
You see everything.
Yeah. It's and I've dropped the word mummy lord a couple times here. Mummy lords are powerful undead creatures. They are a big step up from just mummies, as you could imagine, hence the word mummy lord in their name. And they are known for basically having their organs removed, usually for them, it's like as a courtesy, and placed in usually traditionally jars, which then might be, stored away in some tomb, with the idea being that a mummy lord can never be truly defeated as long as some of its organs are kept safe somewhere. It seems like Valen Sarnaster has taken this to a new level, where instead of putting her horrible undead mummy organs into just jars where they could just be hit by a magic missile, she has stored them inside followers, and she has then imbued some of those followers with further magic to make them powerful crystalline golems that were, let's be honest here, not super easy to take down.
Not even a little bit easy to take down.
Yeah. Well, frick.
While we're pondering that, Lone Walker is going to kind of quietly approach. Okay, what am I doing? Quietly approach Reed Coral and say, I see that you are very adept with your medical knowledge. I have a fear and would ask you to do something that is perhaps, and I learned this recently from a small person named Lil Anthony. I believe it is out of pocket for me to ask this, but would you consider a medical examination of my body without cutting, of course?
To what end?
Well, there are parts of my body I cannot see, and given what we have discovered here, I worry about somehow having some part of me stolen away.
I see. Yes, since our names were in that book. Got it. Tony.
And only some of us had symbols that were in that empty jars.
So, Tony, given my knowledge of the undead and I guess medicine and arcana and all that kind of stuff together, I know that earlier Lone Walker popped off detect good and evil. Would that have pinged if there was something undead within Lone Walker?
Probably be hard, especially given how good Lone Walker is, right? Like, like if he's 90%, 99% good and has like 1% bad, would you see that 1%,
It depends on how good his spell is, I guess.
Depends how good he is.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will say.
Whereas if he was just like a jerk and had an evil organ in it, I'd be like, yeah, you'd see that pretty quickly. Lone
Essentially,
Walker, if you want to just do some really jerky things now to like even out your aura, that might.
Essentially, what I hope you might find is a scar or something similar to what we have seen on these corpses.
I would be more than happy to.
Melius overhears and joins.
It was so quiet.
Melius is a bard. Melius is nosy and also hears things. Melius also has a 14 for intelligence with a +2, and then medicine is a +3 on top of that. And so would be happy to help. And also, with Arcana, I have a +7 to Arcana. So if we need to look and see if something's going on, I would love to be a part of this. Very intrigued.
So yeah, that's
Lone Walker says,
I also walk the path of the druid.
Your nature in Arcana is perhaps something that will be helpful after Reed Quarrel performs the medicine portion of this examination. My nature and my culture do not necessarily permit me to bear my flesh, and it is going to be difficult enough to be in the same space with one person while bearing any part of myself. So I hope you would understand that I need this to be as small a group as possible. Oh, you're muted
again.
I think.
Lone Walker loves when he's at the hospital and they're like, "Oh, this is really weird. Bring all the interns in to check this out."
You've got that weird thing.
Yeah.
I absolutely understand, and I would be honored if I might be able to play some music to put your mind at rest while this occurs.
He bows to you and says, "I thank you."
So yeah, Reed Quarrel it said, indeed, I would be happy to. I mean, I recognize this is merely flesh. It will all be gone. I think nothing of it.
So what Lone Walker does is he calls over Lunareth, who has, a side pack, and inside is a tarp, and sort of sets up against the wall, very tall because he is, like this little sort of
Lean-to
tent, lean-to
Little medical
tent
tent.
thing.
Yeah, they have them on the sideline in football games. It's good.
Yeah, and goes
Pop-up
inside
medical tent.
and takes off a certain amount of his clothing, and then lets you do your magic.
Yeah,
your
basically. So I'll just is this medicine at this point then,
Yeah.
or perception, Tony? Okay.
Let's do medicine.
Holy moly, I crit on it, so that's a 29.
All right, a very thorough inspection. And Lone Walker is an adventurer who has been around the block a couple times. You have a lot of scars and bruises and places where, maybe bones didn't heal quite right. But you feel confident, Reed Quarrel, as you study the rich tapestry of scar tissue that is Lone Walker, that none of these wounds and injuries that have healed are particularly recent, and none of them look quite like the kind of way the wounds had been sewn back up on the two followers of Valen Sarnester that you just fought. So you feel confident that Lone Walker does not contain any mummy organs for now.
I am absolutely confident that currently you are not the host for any undead thing. There is nothing remotely similar to what I have seen. I hope that sets your mind at ease.
And while that happens, Melius plays some music.
And Melius will send you that music file later.
Okay.
Wonderful. Lone Walker sort of does another nod to thank you quickly, puts his clothes back on, breaks down the tent, folds it up, puts it in, Lunareth's pack, and also gives another nod to Melius for the sort of soothing elevator music.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, Vroga is like, oh my god, you're so frigging precious. So, like, geez.
I'm sure Nis is thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, so she's just like, says, right, okay, it's like Reed Quarrel, so she's just stripping off her armor, like just in the middle of the thing, and it's like, okay, like
yes,
buff,
this will be remembered as the naked
kind
episode.
of like nothing to be not proud of here, like, check me out. I'm like, yeah.
Just in general, just like, hey,
Just
check
in
me
general.
out.
I mean, like specifically for like
Medically.
whatever the precious guy with the horse was like wanting. But
You're literally
like,
my foil,
if
and
you
I
want
love
to
it.
do some checking out, that would also be okay. I'm fine with that. I mean, like, I am a specimen.
I got a 23.
All right. You think that Vroga has also not a carrier for Mummy Lord organs?
All right.
Is that all? Like, seriously? I'm standing here naked. Really?
Again, Reed Quarrel says, it's merely flesh.
Medically, you're doing great.
That's my doctor says that all the time, and I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Rude says that a lot.
Like, and then, so Vroga's putting her clothes back on because, like, okay, that was as bad as the last time I did that.
Wow.
Anyone else? So you've done some important medicine check that you feel confident that many of you are not, though your names were foretold. You are not.
Not yet.
Is this like
Not yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this like a gaslighting prophecy?
And also, I mean, because Lone Walker did detect good and evil earlier, it's possible that anybody that was not super nice and had a bad thing in them, it might have triggered. So I am fairly confident at this point that we are all currently unadulterated in terms of extra
Speak for yourself.
Mummy Lords stuff.
Yeah.
I think Nis would like to see what happens if she firebolts one of those organs down in the pit.
So I believe at this point, there were a bunch of jars down there. Several of the jars were empty. Several of the jars contained organs that have now been dealt with, but two of the jars have not really been fully explored yet. Do you want to start by looking at them, or you just want firebolt first and ask questions later?
I'll investigate them further before. I feel like that there's something here that I need to ponder. Yeah.
Yes. There's one. That you saw. There was one with a jar with a cat on the jar, and then a jar with a sword on the jar.
Okay.
Which one do you want to start with?
Let's look at the cat.
Cat or sword? All right. You look at the shattered remnants of the cat jar. Give me a very easy medicine check, or you may want to just ask Reed Quarrel, who's standing nearby, who's much better at that than you.
Hey, Reed Quarrel.
I apologize. There's also a book jar. There are 3 jars that you haven't dealt with.
3 jars. I'm investigating these organs, and I would love your medical opinion.
I got a 28 on the first one.
Jesus. 28.
Good Lord.
All right. You look at these 3 organs, or is this just one organ or multiple organs? Reed Coral.
We're starting with the cat, but
I mean,
cat.
whatever.
I mean, if I can use a 28 to just cover all 3 of them, I'm fine with that.
I'll and you got a
Extrapolate.
28. You look at you move the shards around, and there is a heart inside of the remnants of the cat jar, and it is specifically, you got a 28. It is a human heart.
This belonged to a human.
Possibly
Technically, it still belongs to that human.
and in fact, you're going to say a young, healthy human.
Oh my.
Yeah. You peer around in the jar that had a sword on it, and there's 2 things in here. There is a left eye, and in fact, you recognize it as the left eye of a tiefling. And then with it, there is also an eye patch, and it looks like maybe there's something like behind the eye patch. So kind of like there was the pair of eyes from somebody who only had one eye to donate.
Okay.
It seems like a miscalculation.
Yeah, and then the third jar that I don't think anyone had interacted with yet is a book label. A jar had an icon of a book on it, and inside that, all the other organs had seemed kind of like preserved in time. This one, in fact, you're not. It's give me another medicine check. This organ is like does not look good. It is all sad and kind of deteriorated.
This one's only a 27.
Yeah, well, you got two really good rolls. You recognize with a 27, this is the pancreas of a dragonborn, but it is like dead.
Pancreas. Isn't that sweet bread?
For a
I
book?
wonder if there's some connection. Perhaps the dragonborn to whom this pancreas once belonged is now dead, whereas the human and the tiefling are alive somewhere, or perhaps partly alive somewhere.
Book means library?
There was a missing dragonborn
Oh
librarian.
yeah, the kid from the library.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tony, can I?
Well, let's go home.
I want to look at that. I want to look at that.
Accounted for it.
that human heart, and if
Yep.
I could do maybe Arcana, I'm trying to get a sense of what the connection is, and if there's anything that useful that we could do with them here.
Yes.
Like if we could
I would
destroy
like-
them and it would knock them out or hurt them or not.
I would like to help using my knowledge of the undead. I will
Yes.
help. Yes.
You will say you spend a little bit of time studying it. Maybe there's some experimentation with some cantrips.
We're both like leaning
briefly-
over it.
Yeah,
like
the
light it on
science boffins
fire.
are at it.
Yeah, science. The nerds are at work, and basically what you can conclude is that, like for example, you try scorching ray the heart, and it seems fine. Like it does. It seems unfazed by it. So can a heart be
All right.
phased? You do. I mean, you knew when you attacked these jars, it stunned the canopic golems you were fighting for like a few seconds. So I think there's the idea that there is some linkage between the organs and their owners, but in this state, they are basically kind of preserved and protected, whereas the organ inside the person was vulnerable.
All right.
And you're now starting to see some of the appeal of like why you wouldn't just put your organs in a jar, you would put them in a person to keep them safe, right? Starting to make
Sure.
seeming like Valentine After
Sure.
has a lot of good points.
I recommend that we bring these organs along with us. If we happen to encounter more canopic golems, perhaps having these in our possession will be helpful. I don't know.
I don't know.
Who's going?
Maybe
Which
not.
pocket? Who's
I don't like the idea of leaving
You want to
them
carry a
behind.
human heart,
And they're down.
and
Can
a
we
tiefling
even
eye?
like
Yeah,
elevate
bags
them or get them off there somehow?
There's a ramp. You
ledge.
can just go down
there-
there.
okay.
Yeah, there's a ledge.
All right.
It's not super clear on the map, but
Yeah, the map. There is the slightly even more confusing sideway view.
Oh, side
of the
view.
map-
Yeah.
of the
Okay.
Rammer sign.
I get out my my like waterproof bag,
You got a Ziploc bag,
and I'm
you
gonna
got
turn
two
it
Ziploc
inside
bags?
out with my hand in it, like I'm picking out the dog poop.
Nice.
And I pick up the heart, and then I pick up the eye.
Are you gonna put them in the same bag?
Yeah, and and
I
the
have no
and the
complaints.
eye patch and whatever's behind it.
Yep. You discover as you're picking up the eye patch that the eye patch has like a little thing tucked into it.
Ew.
Well, it's a magic item. Hey, you wow, nudity, no big deal. Things tucked into eye patches. Look, it's we all have different cultural values around things. This person had a gem that perhaps they were kind of wearing as an artificial eye, which is worth 2,500 gold pieces. Nis.
Wow.
And
Oh, wow.
as part of that, it was fitted with an eyes of minute seeing. This is a crystal lens that fits over an eye. When wearing them, your vision improves significantly. I wish I had this in real life. So that you have, let's see.
So is it my
dark
nude?
vision.
Is it my nude
I was
seeing?
gonna say, is it perhaps my
Yes,
newt
minute
seeing?
seeing. Dark
No, your
vision
newt.
and an advantage on intelligence investigation checks when investigating things.
Cool.
I definitely thought you said my nude seeing, and I was
Yeah,
like,
nude
whoa,
seeing.
whoa,
We
whoa,
already
whoa,
did
whoa.
that
We
one.
already
We
did
did that
that.
one.
All right,
Yeah.
Lone
Nis,
Walker doesn't have to take his clothes off.
Nis slips that in her pocket and then closes the bag and goes, "Ooh," and comes back up.
Reed Quarrel may have seen that, but does not care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't want it in the bag with the organs.
Yeah.
Hey Tony, are the you mentioned earlier that they're like a bunch of the jars had like things like I don't know, a great axe on it.
It was an okay axe.
Was that one of the ones that got broken?
Yeah, they all got broken. That one was
good.
empty.
Empty.
Okay, good. Okay, terrific. Yep. That's good to know. I just wanted to double check on that one.
Run down the jars here because it's this part I wrote down a bunch of my notes. You had cat jar, human heart, sword jar, left eye and eye patch with artificial gem eye in it, crystal ball jar, brainstem, wand jar, kidneys, book jar, pancreas, not mint in box, and then empty lizard jar, axe jar, and scythe jar. That's jar talk.
Jar Jar.
Jar talk.
Jar talk.
So you've learned a lot.
Jar Jar Mummy.
Yeah. Oh no. I knew it was like we're not going to be able to get past
don't do it.
that.
Just now.
Yep. But
Okay, well, we need to.
there is still also a horrible, menacing sarcophagus in the pit.
Yeah, I was just about to mention there is the big elephant in the room.
Nope. And
Is there a way?
And
so it's a
I will
pit.
say I've done some magic analysis, and that is very bad. And there's stuff that will be triggered if we go down there that would also be extremely bad.
And there's not like a ramp that goes all the way down.
No,
right?
there is
It's
not.
Just, it is a pit.
I think
And are there any?
say
we leave it.
Yes, I
Frog
agree.
is kind of annoyed because it's like an unopened box.
I think we'll be back.
It's not kind of. It's literally an unknown.
But there's a human and a tiefling who have been transformed by mummy organs that we need to kill.
Yes.
Okay.
So the
And we say to Broga, I say, you will be back. Soon you'll see.
And I will point you did take basically the direct path to this tomb. There are a variety of side passages you could take. There's also the kind of tunnel continues with to the north, and there is a set of double doors up to the north. So
are there any? Hey, does that thing that Jason picked up require attunement? I'm just curious.
does it require attunement?
Just
Like
because
the
I want.
kidney?
I'm curious if there are looking
not
down if
require
there are any
attunement.
doors that are leading into the pit, and if it would be potentially possible to spot if there were any secret doors leading into the pit, which Nis might have advantage on for those checks.
Nis, you see no such doors.
Okay. I hold
all
up
the
the
way.
gem and I'm like, ooh. Everything's clear, but there's nothing special here.
Okay, so it appears there's no direct way down other than gravity.
And believe me, we don't want to go down there
Okay,
right now. It would be bad.
right.
We trust Miss.
It'd be real bad. Trust me,
Then
I was thinking of jumping down there, and it
I
would
do have Featherfall.
me too.
Do you have feather climb out?
It's a bad idea.
I have a loot that lets
It's
me
a
fly.
very bad idea.
Is it? Did you bring enough loot for everybody?
We have a Pegasus.
Yes, actually, I
It's
have
in the
enough-
loot
I can-
crate.
I can cast it
Well,
on enough people. Yeah.
I have nothing snarky to say in response to that.
But there are spells that will go off that will basically kill us if we go down there. So let's not yet.
Yeah, we should
Fine.
not.
Whatever.
And I suppose
Kroger just has problems with
What would a
saying that you
hero
shouldn't
do?
So-
anything, or it's a bad idea.
So
was
this
attacking
says,
it from distance.
among the other things we could do is the lady who brought us in here. She went back the other way and said, "No, just go down there where we almost got killed by golems."
Yeah.
So we could have a word with her. That might be a place to
That'd be a
start.
bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Little annoyed.
I'd like to speak
Thanks
with the
for reminding
management,
me.
please.
yes.
Yeah.
Especially since we
Oh, we're bringing out the Karen.
Yeah.
We're bringing out the Karen.
Karen time.
All right. You'd like to head south? Back
Yeah.
I
that
come
way?
from an ancient family. How dare you?
Do you know who you're talking to?
You head south. As you, I don't know if you remember. There's a lot of hallways in this this
there are.
interdimensional meditation room. But I'm going to leave it on you to bring your tokens all the
Yeah,
way
but
south.
she went down in to that passage
yes.
just to the south of the teleportation area.
Nis, are you going to lead the way? Are you the face right now? How's this work?
Yeah, I mean, I want everybody with me, but if everybody agrees that we could start with her because she's somebody we know is here, maybe we would try her first.
especially since we found that was it the pancreas that was already dead that belonged to a dragon?
A dragonborn. And was she a human?
Yeah.
She's a human.
Okay, so that makes her a suspect.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, got to check her for heart, cat-shaped heart.
Mm-hmm.
Does she like? We'll ask her if she likes cats. If she has a pet cat, we'll see what happens.
All right, Ness, you approach.
Does she like fish?
As you remember, or may not remember, there's lots of kind of twisting hallways. All the hallways here are kind of made of kind of translucenty crystal like substance with kind of glowing light emanating from them, and many eyes that kind of stare and rotate and look at you. You do pass several side passages off to the east and west as you head back to the door you saw Alessia Basir disappear into, basically close to where you teleported into the extraplanar dimension that you happen to find yourself in. Nis, there's a closed door ahead of you.
All right, I'll look back at my group and I quietly first let me listen at the door.
right.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's quiet.
I try
Appropriately quiet.
I try to quietly open the door.
The door is locked.
Anyone? Anybody?
I mean,
Can anybody unlock doors?
I'm not a door unlocker.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
You hear footsteps and the door opens. Alessia Basir is standing there. She's a young woman garbed in the yellow robes of the
Texas?
of the House of the All-Seeing Eye. If you zoom way in, you'll see her token. She's got like blue hair and an eye tattoo on her forehead, and she greets you, Nis. Oh, hello. Have you already had a meeting with the Oracle? What has she seen for you?
You could say that. We had a meeting with 2 crystal golems and found a pit with a lot of organs in canopic jars. The golems tried to kill us. So that
And a
was
sarcophagus.
and a big spooky sarcophagus. It was right, where you told us to go. So what's up with that?
I think at this point it would be great if Vroga rolled just an intimidation check.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just to loom
and
behind
I
you.
think I feel like we're pushing in too. Like we're not
little bit of subsonic growl.
we're pushing into
All
the
right.
room. We're pushing into the room too.
Nis,
I feel
whoa,
that.
okay. You all pushed
Okay,
into
I
the
did a
room.
10, so not a great one.
Well,
This
hold on,
looks
let
like-
me help out. I'm going to intimidate as well.
Nice.
Well, I rolled a 9.
Well, you know what? I will help. I will help Vroga do the intimidation.
I rolled
So
a
roll second
19 on
time.
intimidation, by the way.
Wow. So suddenly, basically, just the wall of you are inside this room. This is a small little room. It looks like it's someone's simple quarters. You see a cot, a little footlocker, a nice little table and chair. The kind of requirements you need by AAA to get your room certified.
It counts as a hotel room, yes.
Wooden cupboard, and the only decoration is that on top of the wooden cupboard, there's a couple little figurines of cats.
Dang.
Alessia says, I apologize. I don't know what to tell you. The ways of Sarnas are unknown to me at times, and I faithfully serve Valen Sarnaster and believe that her will is the path to all good things.
Have you had any non-elective surgery lately?
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear those two together. Brian, you go first, and then.
So you're
Erica.
saying her will was for us to try to be killed?
I mean, and yet you are not killed. That must be her will as well. Erica?
Well, let me tell you, some people were almost killed.
Oh,
and
but
I
almost
find that
killed
offensive.
is not killed. Our paths are complicated ones.
I get in her face and I say, were you subjected to any non-elective surgery recently? And I look and see if any of her visible skin has any of those
You got a little heart
scars.
scar somewhere?
Are you trying to do
give me a
prior
little-
authorization for her insurance? What's going on?
Perception check.
This is where that nude scene comes out.
Wait, did you say this was medicine or
Perception.
Perception. Okay, I'm not as good at that, so that's only an 11.
You just barely catch a glimpse of some stitches, like right below the on the sternum.
Well.
I don't think so.
I point and I say, "You, madam, have been subjected to the ill will of a mummy lord, and you are now carrying one of its organs inside you. Look down."
She
No,
is
look back
like terrified. What does this mean? What? I must consult Valen. She will tell me my future. She will assure me that all will be well.
No,
Valen, my dear,
no, she will not,
is
and
lying
no,
to
you
you.
will not. I think you need to stay here.
Can we kill her?
I reach out and grasp her on the shoulder,
I don't think we should kill her. She probably.
and it's a shocking grasp.
Her. Yep.
no.
Oh no!
That knocks her out, doesn't it?
It's only a 13 to hit.
She is an unarmed civilian. She is not a canopic golem.
Okay.
She's unconscious.
I'm going to knock her out. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to kill her, but I'm gonna shock her into
Yes.
out. Just
What was that?
I'm
fine with
rolling
I'm
insight.
nodding at Ness.
I have
We
a
didn't talk
I have a
about this.
zero
Hadn't done it,
tolerance
I
for
would've done
mummy
it.
organs right now. The cats.
I'm
Do you see the
just-
cats?
This she might be a victim in this
Yes, she
situation.
didn't know.
Well, she is going to be the victim of a thorough medical exam right now. That's for sure.
I'm going to say, minutes ago, there was the high possibility that all of you had mummy organs
Yeah.
too. Now it's a different
I
story.
will say,
checked.
I want Recoral to now check the unconscious person to see about that scar, and I also want to ask Recoral if she thinks that there might even be a way for us to do something like pull out the mummy organ and put in the preserved human heart organ instead.
Favor.
Some quick role playing stuff. When Lone Walker started to see Nis reach out with Nis's hand, I rolled insight. I didn't roll very high. And so it was insight to see what that hand was going to do. If Lone Walker would have rolled higher, would have probably cut in, not knowing if it was for like killing or not. But I think with that insight, he just was unsure, and he's at a place now where he's like halfway between trusting Nis's choices and not, versus before would have been like trying to slap the hand away. So
Nis and Lone Walker would
Always
never
at odds.
survive on a road trip together.
Nope.
Not alone, anyway.
Not alone. No.
I want to also roll an insight just to see if I believed her when she was saying that she was innocent. And holy cow, I got another 20. This die, I like this die.
Wow. Can you send that to me?
Insight is so that's a 29. Did I believe her? Is
She
actually
seemed,
an innocent?
and she seemed like an unfortunate victim in all this.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
don't
I'm not
really
like,
care.
I'm not like taking her clothes off. I just want to see if the scar
Yeah.
really is over her heart.
Yes, it does seem like someone has done some pretty major surgery to her torso.
Okay, so I have been chasing and studying and killing undead for my entire career. That is the only thing that I do. So I'm hoping that I know at least a little bit about mummy lords, since that seems like that would be my area of speciality. Do I know if it is possible to save someone by putting their own organ back in and removing the organ of the mummy lord?
This is
that
going to
like
be
a
an
known
Arcana
thing?
check.
Okay.
Potentially, someone could help you.
What's
with
your?
this, too.
I can help with that.
Yeah, I have no bonus to Arcana.
Oh, I do.
At all.
I do. It's a
Okay.
good one for
Is
Nis. So
that-
why don't you help me?
Well,
Yeah,
or
is-
I think Nis and Meleus are
yeah.
both pretty
Yeah, I
Arcana.
can
Oh,
also
Nis,
help.
Nis and Meleus. Okay.
Well, I mean, help just gives
Advantage.
gives advantage. So I will help Nis, and then Meleus can also roll. If
Okay,
you want,
great.
But
Okay.
First roll is
See
a
how this
24.
does. Well, there we go.
24.
All right.
Oh, and an 8.
Nis, you were just thinking about it, and it's clear that whatever has been done to these poor souls to have their organs removed and make them the carrier of a mummy lord's horrible necrotic organs is a magical ritual, and most rituals can be undone. This poor person, Alessia Basir, is alive, though she presumably carries a mummy heart. And hey, you've got in a nice Ziploc bag there a mint condition human heart.
Yeah, it's been rubbing up against an eyeball, but otherwise it's okay.
I asked if you wanted to use two bags.
I don't.
He said, and I
Bags.
didn't want to.
So what you know is that it is possible. What you would really like is perhaps some kind of instructions, either directly on how to undo it, or at least on how the process was done to this person. And you don't have that yet, but perhaps that is information you could glean from somewhere in this horrible demiplane that you find yourself in.
Okay. So I say to everyone, based on what we know, my suggestion is that we tie up this innocent, leave her in a comfortable position on her bed, and perhaps even leave her own actual heart on top of her chest, covered with a cloth.
There you go, girl.
We don't
Erica,
know how this happens.
Erica, have you ever woken up to see one of your organs?
I said
Couple of times.
covered. I clearly said covered.
Okay.
Also tied up with it covered so she
Okay.
can't take
Like
the
in
cover
a
off.
like in a
it's like-
jar that says "Do not look in this
Nis,
jar."
No, it's tucked underneath her clothing, which is
Okay.
then like tied up in case.
Oh, that's
The thinking is
significantly less horrifying than what
if there's
I
something
imagine.
if there's something that we can do elsewhere that will then trigger her
Oh, like a-
her magical healing, and she needs the heart to be really close
Yeah.
by, we want that to be there because we
or
want to
just
save this
maybe
person.
osmosis. If you wait long enough, the heart will go back in.
So
I hadn't thought of that.
okay,
but
Vroga's a little bit confused here. It's like, why don't we just kill her?
Why-
Because that would solve the problem.
Would it?
I don't
How
know.
would that solve the problem? Explain that to me. How would that solve the problem?
Oh,
Vroga.
it's the other.
if we could save her and destroy the mummy organ, then we don't. Then that works just as well, and then the person isn't dead. So
I mean, you effectively killed the other people. They
she'll
were
be immobilized.
Tethered to canopic golems, which made them a lot harder to kill. But
We didn't
Some of us don't like to
didn't know
kill
that at the time.
innocent
Yeah.
people.
they were also super trying to kill you.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
B,
there is-
self-defense. B, ignorance.
Yeah.
Nis,
There is presumably a beating mummy heart inside Alessia Basir.
yeah,
Okay.
that is my point.
Nis rolls her eyes and gets out a second smaller bag, transfers an eyeball and an eye patch into that
Perfectly
bag.
sized to hold two eyeballs
I
Well,
like
one
the
eyeball
Ziploc
and an eye
bag collection.
patch.
and an eye patch. Okay.
Tucks that in her pocket and then takes her existing heart bag
Yeah.
and places it, let's say, on the nightstand.
Yeah. I'm just,
With a
when you
note.
live in a small,
I'm going to write a note on it that says,
Sticky note.
Alessia, don't look inside.
No, we are tying this lady.
I know.
up.
I
We are
just
not-
want to. I just. It's not going to even say her name. It's just going to say don't look
do not
inside.
Open, do not open heart inside.
Yeah.
Don't open until Christmas.
I would like to
Christmas.
see some art of that. A damp
still think we should
bag
put it on their chest.
with- that says "Do not open." Maybe a heart-shaped imprint on the side of it. All right, you have technically done some things.
And
So it
we
does
should
seem like
lock her door again, like try to, I don't know, stop up her door.
she
so that
she
if
does have a key to the door on her.
Okay, we'll take that in and
Yeah.
lock it behind us, so nobody else comes in and finds her.
Yep, you did knock her out before. You could have asked her so many questions.
I know. I was gonna use persuasion. Like,
No.
nope.
No, Nis.
No.
Didn't want to take the
This-
chance.
There will
Yeah,
probably
this-
be somebody
Zap a
else.
zap. We can wake her up
Yep.
if you
Also,
wanted
any of
to.
our questions
Zap her
that we
again.
get the information from
This is like,
probably the
yes.
mummy knows.
Yeah.
There are
yeah.
many places you could explore in
Are
searching
you my
for
mummy?
the searching for the victims or allies of Valen Sarnaster, as well as information on how you might save Alessia Basir. I think this is the time where you need to make the difficult decision about where are you going to go next.
There is a mirrored room at the end of the hallway.
Yep. I'll just
Mirrors
mention.
can be so dangerous.
I think you have kind of like 4 main options. Tell me if I'm missing one. There's a mirrored room. There's a room with a sword inside a giant like slab of crystal. There's an unexplored side passage to the west. There's an unexplored set of double doors to the north.
My immediate thought is the unexplored side passage to the west. That
That was my
gut instinct.
second. Yeah, let's do.
My thought
Well,
too.
Yeah. I read will say, I am concerned about the mirrors. I know that there are a lot of magic users who use mirrors to do terrible things. So I think what I would be looking for is a library or some sort of room with knowledge or information.
You could also split up. the
Love
cover of the ground.
libraries.
with the party.
No.
Yeah. Lone Walker nods at Reed Quarrel's idea.
Perhaps
I'm here for
we should try
libraries.
All right.
Okay, I'll come along.
This is a
Perhaps we're to the
book-themed
left.
adventure, after all.
Maybe we can go inside a book, inside a book, inside a book. Oh, but we're not in a book this time, right?
No, the book told you to go places.
You're going places, kid.
So yeah, going around this corner, what do we see to the north?
Guess what? This is an adventure
Double
with...
doors.
Nope, not yet. This is an adventure with so many hallways.
Oh, I put myself. It's black.
Hold on, sorry. Instead of unhiding,
I've fallen into darkness.
it hid.
Spooky.
Luckily, I have dark vision.
Oh God, it's a long corridor.
This
I would
corridor
like
is
six
so
feet.
Is this
long.
The Shining?
I would like to roll perception to
Yes.
just on the hallway and see if it
Traps.
looks obviously trapped.
Okay, roll perception.
I help.
Oh, thank you.
I point out, hey, check over there.
Yeah, look harder.
Let's see.
Use
Perception.
both eyes.
23.
The hallway does not appear obviously trapped.
Does
Does
not
it
look
appear
trapped.
non-obviously trapped?
It's not
All right.
not obviously
Let's
trapped.
go.
We
Walker
must
walks
stride
down.
forward, my friend.
All right, the hallway twists and turns for quite a ways
We are on a noble
before
quest.
reaching a strange kind of intersection. A set of double doors heads to the west. The hallway continues to the north.
It could be a library.
It
Marius is
could.
playing
Any,
ball.
any
also-
door could lead to a library.
Yep.
I also like the idea of exploring a little bit further to see if we come across another barrier first.
All right. Lone
anyone
Walker
opposed?
scampers off to the north and explores further. Tony
Yes, he
reveals more of the map.
We could listen at the door. Okay. I guess I'm gonna listen
The
at
hallway
door really
eventually
quick.
takes a right angle turn to the east, Lone Walker.
I'm listening at the door really quick.
Okay.
You guys
You're
went
doing
off.
that,
I'm gonna
and
follow
Lunarith
you.
peeks around the corner.
Lunar sees the tunnel, the hallway starts sloping down.
I got a 17 investigation.
All right,
On
you are
those double
listening
doors.
at
Or
the
perception.
door.
Perception. Okay.
It's going to be
Well,
very
let
similar.
me tell you, when you're in a pocket universe, there's no constraint
Yeah.
to keep your building compact. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Zoning laws do not exist
No,
here.
they have infinite
there's no
space for
material.
hallways.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you give an architect an open brief.
Yeah. You notice all these hallways, no closets. It's like, what are they thinking?
Where are they putting everything?
Yeah. You listen at this thing and you think you hear the footsteps of somebody perhaps pacing back and forth. You also hear kind of a weird, like, maybe kind of like dripping water kind of noises in there.
Water feature.
Perfect
Yeah,
for
it could
books. Sounds like a library to me.
Intriguing.
Water
I mean,
library.
it sounds a little bit more like a laundry room than a
Oh,
library.
interesting.
When the books are thirsty, they have a place to drink.
I hope it's
Well-
water that's dripping and not blood.
Blood.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Thanks, Reed Coral.
I don't know if it sounds like blood.
Lone Walker just shouts down the pass. Well, no, he doesn't. He comes back and he says, Lunarith has taken a peek around the corner and there is a tunnel leading down. There are not double doors that way.
There is somebody pacing and a dripping sound this way.
Perhaps it is another
What if it's a
innocent
torture room?
who
Let's
has
I
We should,
let's check this out before going
yeah, it's
into
another
a
person.
I
Scary
Yeah.
tunnel.
I agree.
Agreed.
What's the plan?
What if there's somebody inside who really has to use the restroom and they're being tortured with the sound of
Man.
dripping water? We can
What if
dress
I
they're,
literally-
what if
them
they're
and
trying to
take
go
them
to the
to the
bathroom?
loo.
as
I,
a
I
joke?
literally did
What
the
if
thing
they
that
have,
nobody
like,
ever does in
a bladder
D&D, which is I
problem?
knocked at the door.
You just open the
before, so-
doors?
You
you're
knock at this
knocking.
door?
yeah, why not?
Okay.
Knocking or
It's
knocking, as in spell or...
No, I think tap tap tap. I think that's pretty funny.
Got
Like, do the people just open
It is
doors
pretty
here?
funny.
They figure like, what the heck? We're in a pocket dimension. It must be somebody authorized. And then we walk in and intimidate them. It's great. I love it.
I do like that
All
part.
right, you
That's
hear
fun.
footsteps coming over to you, and the door opens, and standing before you is a huge golem made out of crystalline rock.
Are you kidding me?
The golem kind of looks down at you. It has kind of tiefling-like
Oh, no.
I turn around and run.
features,
Candygram.
ness,
Turn around.
and
Somebody starts, yeah. Da-da-da. I've got balloons for you.
Performance, performance. I roll performance.
How does its eye look?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Yeah.
Well, the
21 in performance.
the golem itself looks like it just has two eyes.
We're not here. You don't see us. Blah, blah, blah.
Are people attempting to roll stealth after knocking on a door?
I'm just rolling performance. to distract you.
Tony, I say, oh, hello. We are here by the rules of this plane to investigate and look at the waters. We were told to come here and look at the waters.
Deception check.
Your appearance was foretold.
You
Everybody
talk.
says that. It's so annoying.
Allow
It
me
is.
to take you to Lord Sarnaster. She awaits.
Woohoo!
And the
Glad you're
golem kind
nice.
of gestures as if you should turn around and head north.
May
I'm
I
not
ask
turning
your
around,
name,
but I will back.
guide?
I am Okazor, champion of the arena.
Hello,
Oh, so you're the
Okazor.
tough one.
What is with the water? Why is there water here?
I know not the ways of this space.
Why are you
looking
in
at-
the space?
Looking beyond Okazor, the crystal golem / tiefling, you can see that most of this room that this golem seemed to just be hanging out in is taken up by a large kind of pool of water. It looks like it's kind of set up as like a reflecting pool. There are runes carved into the rim of it, and they're glowing. There's kind of heat shimmering off of the water. The water quality looks real bad.
I'm gonna roll an Arcana check. See what the heck's going on with those runes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's an 11.
You know what? I'm going to give you advantage because of the types of runes they are. Melius, roll again.
That's a 15.
All right, you recognize, I think, maybe sometimes you get that voice that whispers you little things. That this is a scrying pool, and you recognize that the runes around it are related to divination magic, but they have been corrupted. At one point, this was a holy space, but now it is kind of an odorous and unpleasant space. You know that you would not want to touch that water. You super don't want to drink that water, and you don't even like the idea of breathing the air near that water. But, potentially this is a place that someone could, in a different time, use to meditate and see the future.
And which way did you say you wanted to take us, Okazor?
Okazor says, please, this way, and gestures kind of down the hallway to the north.
Okay. We can go that way.
I think you should lead the way.
Indeed. I back up against the side of the wall
yeah,
and
we
make
scoot
space
back.
for
Yeah, we all make space.
so that we may follow.
Okay. Okazor kind of moves. I imagine you all kind of flatten up against the walls
Yep,
as the
exactly.
large golem strides past you. And Okazor does seem to be basically the same kind of construct as the two golems you fought in the tomb room, though less openly hostile toward you.
Indeed.
Okazor does frequently kind of turn and look over his shoulder to see that you're still following him as he kind of marches north
That makes me
down
think
the
his hearing's
hallway.
not very good because we're like a clopping Pegasus and
Well, there's a lot of you.
barbarian and-
It would be really
like,
easy to misplace one of you.
I suppose that's true.
I am also now. I'm staying towards. I have knocked my crossbow just in case.
Like real casually though, like, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just sort of slid the arrow on, put it by my side.
Yeah, my hands are just lightly resting on my hand.
All right. Okazor heads down the hallway, and Okazor's broad crystal golem shoulders, it's like basically the hallway is about as wide as Okazor. Well, there's plenty of room for you to move double file behind him. He reaches the end of the hallway and turns right and heads down that hallway, continuing to make sure that you're all, following along unless somebody wants to sneak away. The hallway, this is again, it's like, you can clearly tell they're not paying by the foot for this this demi-plane. It dips down and then back up.
Oh my gosh.
You
know.
gotta go down to go up.
You got Okazor is heading along, and
Melius begins to hum some walking music.
Hey, while this is going on, Tony, I want to watch Okazor closely, and I'm going to get my little bag that's got the eyeball in it, and I'm going to give it a squeeze and see if Okazor reacts.
Oh, yes.
Okazor stumbles, and like misses a step, and kind of freezes up.
This is why I wanted to bring them along, you guys.
And then I sing loudly to distract him.
Okay. Okazor kind of looks at you curiously and then continues along. Is that what you want?
I mean, I didn't even see this. I don't think anybody did.
I caught it. I
look. I am hanging back, but I whisper to everybody as they're going by. I'm like, I give it a squeeze, and it gets all distracted and stuff. Maybe this is how we beat it. Let's
nod and continue.
And I say, but I don't want to meet the Mummy Lord yet. Can we maybe? We gotta kill. How long are we gonna let this one walk?
Is Valen Sarnaster the Mummy Lord, or is Valen Sarnaster like working with the Mummy Lord?
I think you have pretty good reason to suspect that Valen Sarnaster has been corrupted and is a Mummy Lord.
Is the Mummy Lord? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why we'd want to wait.
Okazor is reaching toward the hallway turns. There's a double door.
Lone Walker pulls out his warhammer.
I squeeze the eyeball and go, now!
Now!
So we're just killing another innocent person rather than going to the source and maybe...
Well, I don't know if we can
Mummy Lord
stop them from dying. Right?
Mummy Lords stay alive if any of their organs are... I mean, I don't know. So, Coral, you want us to just go
way back in the back?
Fight the Mummy Lord and a golem at the same time?
The problem is, being here, I don't think we're going to get a long rest. So I think if we fight the Mummy Lord... A lot of ethical
dilemmas in this fight.
If we wait to fight the Mummy Lord until after we fought everything else, I won't have any spells left. And I suspect he won't either. So I'm just worried about running out of our high-powered spells since we've already burned some of the biggest ones just to fight two of these guys already. It might be better to just go straight to the Mummy Lord unless the only other thing that we would get potentially would be information on how to defeat the Mummy Lord, but I don't think we would get that by killing.
Do we know if we can kill the golem by just crushing the eye?
I think the implication it seems to stun it, basically.
Yeah.
It's indestructible.
Yeah. Remember when we did the things earlier? They just got stunned.
As we all
But I mean, this is all happening sort of in real time. So if somebody attacks it, I can't stop that.
Yeah,
so.
I squeeze the eyeball and say, "Get him!"
All right, here we go.
All right, Okazor kind of flails around and tries to fire some crystal darts at all of you as you all pounce on the golem in this tight, narrow hallway.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of room to maneuver. This could either be a great attack or... guess what? It's going to be really easy to bury you all here. Will they survive their surprise attack on Okazor, the Canopic Golem? Will they find what's beyond these double doors he was about to open? How will they prepare for their confrontation with Valen Sarnaster, Mummy Lord Extraordinaire? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill.
Squeeze the eyeball. Squeeze
it.
This said this is happening. It's happening.
Nis is an insider of events.
Yeah.
That's what Nis is. That's the.
I feel like Nis deserves inspiration for squeezing the eyeball.
I still have inspiration. I haven't used it.
And so you get it again, which is a total waste.
Yep.
See why I don't just give inspiration out willy-nilly, Erica? Because people don't value it. So,
no, he valued it too much.
Too much.
I think Reed Coral should get inspiration for the expert knowledge of
deciding to carry around
undead.
3 organs.
Reed Coral can have inspiration. You've all done very good. In fact, you know what? Literally, I'm going to give you all inspiration. There was a lot of great role-playing before with figuring out your current medical status. Lone Walker, are you far away or you just haven't moved your token? What's your deal?
I just didn't move my token.
All
Sorry.
right, I'm moving your token.
Thank you.
So we will start off next time with rolling some initiative. It is going to be, I think, this is going to be a challenging space for you to operate in because it's not a wide open space, which is before. Remember, you fought these guys, and it was like, this room is so big.
Yeah.
And why is it so big? And now it's like, let us fight this guy in the tiniest hallway imaginable.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess I'm going to be using a lot of face step to go back and forth.
yeah. So, all right, listeners, thank you for listening along. This has been a big podcast weekend. We had a game show recorded earlier this day. We have another game show getting recorded tomorrow. But thank you all for being here. Jason, thank you for instigating all kinds of trouble. Really moves things along.
You're welcome.
Yes.
And we'll be back sometime soon. Why don't you take us offline?
All right.
People can stop their recording.
Goodbye, nerds.
Goodbye.